Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Annie had an earache on a Saturday of all days. So her mom brought her to Minute Clinic at CVS, where you can see a provider, fill a prescription, and grab essentials like pain relief products, all in one visit. Even on evenings and weekends. You can even see us online with telehealth options. For quality, affordable care on your schedule, visit Minute Clinic at CVS. That's healthier made easier. Services vary by location. See MinuteClinic.com for details.
Is your career taking you where you want to go? With Saia LTL Freight's best-in-class benefits, signing bonuses, and competitive pay, it's easy to see why we have the longest tenure in the industry. So whether it's cross-country travel, being home nights and weekends, or working from the terminal, we've got a career for you. Drive your future forward. Visit workatsaia.com. That's workatsaia.com. Is your career taking you where you want to go? With Saia LTL Freight's best-in-class benefits, signing bonuses, and competitive pay, it's easy to see why we have the longest tenure in the industry. So whether it's cross-country travel, being home nights and weekends, or working from the terminal, we've got a career for you. Drive your future forward. Visit workatsaia.com. That's workatsaia.com.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to Gen Exhausted. I'm Chris.
I'm Rich.
I am Earl.
I just wanted to hear a song that you got those songs where every time you hear them, you just get hype. It's ready to run through a wall. This is one of those for me. Ow.
Yeah.
I love this band. Love seeing them
live.
Yeah. Oh. I had to pick the song. I picked something I wanted to hear this week. It has nothing to do with what we're about to talk about. Earl, you wanted to talk about, there's been some news about the whole Astro World debacle, so to speak. A lot of the people who are their funerals offered to be paying for are saying no. And you had some you had some feelings about that, Earl. What are your feelings? I don't. We both have feelings. Sometimes we're on the same page, and sometimes we're on two wildly different pages. You first.
Well, you might agree, you might not. Why the fuck not? He was under no obligation to help you. He was under no court of law appointed to help you. If there's any lawsuits, which I'm sure there's going to be plenty, it probably won't be levied against him.
Well,
and he was trying to help you.
Well,
why would you not take his help?
Well, I believe from what I've read in the story, I believe the same lawyer has been retained for all of the victims.
I'm sure it'll be a class action.
So
lawsuit.
You see where I'm going with this? The lawyer's probably saying, tell this guy, no, fuck you, we're getting a big check, and we're all getting, I think they've pretty much been told, this guy's going to try to buy you off by paying for the funeral, you can get way more. I think that's what this play is. I think the lawyer's trying to pretend to act all indignant, like, oh, these people have to wake up without their children. He makes some points, but I mean, like, lawyers are lawyers, right? I mean, everything that comes out of their mouth, it isn't what they believe. It's so they can win their case. So I think this is a calculated move by the lawyer to get a bigger payday.
I mean, I get it, and I totally understand where the lawyer is coming from, but I highly doubt that Travis is going to get any of the lawsuit. It wasn't his fault at all. All he did was perform. Astro World was understaffed. They oversold tickets.
Yeah, he's part of the company that puts together Astro. That's the thing. He's part. It's gonna play out like Alec Baldwin, right? Will Travis Scott write a check personally? No, but all the companies he's involved with are going to.
Yeah, it's like, please. He's got enough money. He put on that concert or a festival, whatever. He's got an LLC. He's not going to the poorhouse over this. This isn't like this, happened in his backyard.
I didn't know he was part of Astro World.
Oh yeah, no, this is like
real.
It's his music festival. It's like something he's from Houston. It's something since he's been big. It's something that it's like his little own Lollapalooza, to put it in Gen X terms that you'd understand. Yeah, like it's.
Oh no! I thought it was like a Woodstock style thing, and he was just one of the acts that were booked. That's okay.
No, it's like his thing. So, but I think really like just thinking about it pragmatically, like the lawyer's probably going, okay, he could pay for your funeral. Great, you get a nice little 5-figure settlement, or you tell him to fuck off, and he not only pays for your funeral, he's paying for your retirement. You know, he's paying for your funeral. You know what I'm saying? That's it. The lawyer's probably going for the long play here. See, no, don't take the. He's trying to throw you peanuts. You could fucking make a lot more. I really think that's what the lawyer's trying to do.
Well, absolutely.
I can tell you this right now. That lawyer, he's drooling it. What was it? One of the people that died, wasn't he like a teenager?
Oh yeah, the latest victim. The story I sent you guys in the chat, the latest just died because it was from complications. 9 years old.
Okay, 9. Okay.
Yeah,
I knew the number. I knew 9 was popping up my head for a reason. But I can tell you this: that lawyer is sitting down, going, "We're going to factor in pain and suffering, plus lost wages, and of course they're going to assume automatically that this kid was a Rhodes Scholar who's going to cure cancer and AIDS." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, lawyer's going, funeral. Fuck that funeral. Tell him to take his funeral and shove it up his ass.
Because that's what these lawyers do in these situations. It's not just you fucked up, you need to compensate and pay a fine because, you know, it's not criminal, but it's still negligence or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I mean, they don't do that now. Now they go, well, how much was lost in wages and you know, blah 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 and this and that. I mean, I'm sure if he could tack a couple $100,000 on there, like he said he wanted 2 kids, so it's $200,000 per kid, so just tack another $400,000 on our asking price. I mean, I'm not laughing at the people dying. I'm laughing because that's what the fuck lawyers do. And if you think that that's not what they do, you've never dealt with a fucking lawyer.
He always said he wanted 100%. A Lamborghini, so
Yep.
we're going to assume he's going to have a job where he could afford this Lamborghini that he's always said he wanted because he was 9.
And Chris, now that you put it in the perspective of Alec Baldwin, no. If he was a part of that, no, do not take a fucking red cent. Not 1 penny. Because you throw away any clout for getting any damages because, well, he already paid for it. So, yeah, I thought he was just being like, shit, they died while I was on stage. Here, I'll pay for the funeral. Like I said, I thought it was like a Woodstock thing. I didn't know that it was his own gig. No, absolutely. The lawyer just gathered everybody up and was like, just say no, kids. We're back in 1990.
Well, yeah, because, too, like, they're not only suing Travis, I mean, Live Nation, who's, like, the biggest concert promoter, not only in the country, possibly the world. Oh, yeah, I mean, there are so many deep pockets involved. That lawyer he's a shark who smells blood in the water. It's like, no, do not take the funeral.
It is pretty pathetic that, you know, someone who is at least a figurehead for the festival and was on stage when people were trampled to death or whatever, that, like, if they were to take up, like, because I'm sure some of these families aren't just rolling in dough. I mean, the odds are there's going to be one, like, working poor or working class family who can barely afford to bury this fucking, because who thinks you're going to bury a 9-year-old?
Money together just to get the ticket. Had to
you know
walk
what I'm
to
saying?
it
Yeah.
and walk home from it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
10 miles uphill in the snow both ways in Houston, Texas. Yep. But, I mean, it's just pathetic. It's like, really? Because this could be held up in court for fucking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Easy. If they're just trying to wait out, if his lawyers are like, it's cheaper if we fight him, and let's just wait him out. Eventually, they'll take whatever you offer.
You know what, though? I'll bet you that lawyer has found some way to pay for the funerals.
Oh, I'm sure there's a GoFundMe somewhere for this.
Somewhere.
Oh, there was a fucking GoFundMe for that asshole who drove his car into the crowd in Wisconsin before they yanked it. There's a GoFundMe for fucking everything.
Oh, yeah. So they found a way to pay for these funerals. They're not the burial's happening, but they're not going to draw this out for 8 or 9 years. They don't need that type of negativity on their shit. I'll guarantee you, as soon as the lawyer was retained, their lawyers were like, how much, dude? How much? Because we got to get this done. How much? I'll pay for the funeral. No. Okay. Well, how much?
Well, I mean, that's all PR moves. This is maneuvering for the public pretrial, is what it is. And this is trying to make sure that Travis Scott's trying to make sure he can buy as much goodwill as possible from the public.
Well, because even the lawyer, even in the statement, though, was like talking about, because here's where my bullshit alarm started going off, though, too, he was talking about how impersonal it was for him to send an email and not meet with these families face to face. I'm like, okay, so if he does that, they drop in the lawsuit? Probably not. That's how you know it's bullshit. He comes to him, meets face to face, saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Sorry about your child. Let me pay for the funeral." They're instantly dropping that lawsuit. The answer's no.
Yeah, this isn't like even the 80s where it's like, hey, I'll go shake your hand. I'm so sorry for your loss. Blah blah blah. Let's take this photo opportunity. Would you like to come to dinner? And drive them in a limo and pay for the funeral and make them think you're their new best friend. And then, okay, no one's suing nobody. Fuck that asshole. Like, no, man, people are way too fucking savvy and we're way too greedy of a society, man. The minute anything happens, first thing I hear from so many people is call a lawyer, get paid.
Oh, yeah.
Call a lawyer, get paid. I mean, and there's times that, yeah, okay, all right. I mean, it's kind of the way it is set up. Like when a corporation fucks up, usually the blame is so scattered amongst so many different people. There's no 1, 2, 3, 4 group, people you can go, you did this. I want them to go to jail for it. So what do? You sue the corporation. That's how you punish. That's how you punish people with too much money to go to jail, I guess. You sue them. Welcome to America, folks.
No, but you have brought up a good point about society. I mean, we've talked about this before, and it's an Adam Carolla bit, but watch TV during the day, right? Remember when we were kids? It was all about things to improve yourself, right? Refrigerator repair and ITT tech and all this shit and things for you to better yourself. Now it's all like sue someone, get paid, right? It's my money and I want it now. It's Call Sam. It's
Sam. Yeah,
it's Mike Morse.
So many lawyers.
It's all the vaginal mesh and slip and fall and asbestos.
I just want to say this real quick. Mike, for those in the Detroit area, who Mike Morris is. Those not, he's just a local lawyer who gets his face all over the place.
Like some titties.
Yeah, we all have here in Kansas, Wichita. We have called the Bull.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, the reason I brought him up specifically is because I delivered to their headquarters. The reputation of him being a tit man is well earned because there's a lot of racked up women working there, and they are wrapped in very enticing packages. It's not like they're sitting there in granny, hoodies and shit, covering stuff up, looking like Billie Eilish and shit like that. No. And I'm just like, nice.
I see. Now I thought, Chris, this Travis thing was back like the Woodstock '99 with Limp Bizkit. Like they were trying to get Limp Bizkit in trouble and paint them as it was their fault that the shit happened with all the fires and all this. I'm like, they were just happened to be on stage at the time. It wasn't their fault that you didn't have security. But now that you showed that it's Travis's whole gig, it's his whole making and his whole, he gets the rake of concessions hold on
all
that shit.
He's not sitting at his fucking dining room table booking everything and he has his name put on it, right? Like, there's a structure to it. He's not like, calling everyone and booking the acts and booking the venue and, because the other part of it too is some of it's on the venue because there's rumors that the security guards at the venue were just like not really giving a fuck and not really checking tickets and were letting people overcrowd onto the main floor.
Yeah, they were understaffed.
Yeah, but like I said, it's a tour. Like, he doesn't hire the security at the venue, right? He books the gig with the venue, and the venue provides that shit. Like, the security doesn't travel. Like, he doesn't take the security from Houston the next night with him to Wichita, right? He's going to use the security that the venue from Wichita provides.
No, I understand that, but the bottom line is somewhere on a piece of paper with that festival is his signature. So he's going to be named in the suit. Get the fuck over.
Oh, for sure.
That's just how shit's going to work.
Right.
It doesn't matter. And once again, they're not suing him personally. They're not going to come take his gold-plated fucking toilet paper holder. You know? So, I mean, like, everybody stop acting like all these people, there's bullshit going after people and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if his association with the company, who is going to get the majority of the lawsuit, is going to be put on them. If his association with them isn't under an LLC, bro, you kind of got what you deserved. You've been in the public spotlight long enough to have good lawyers and get the right people around you to cover your ass. I highly doubt that. Come on, dude. I mean, it's not even music anymore. It's business. The music is, I mean, it was always that way for certain people, but even more so, if you're on the charts these days, you're more about, what do I got to do to be in the charts and be in the public consciousness than I'm out here because I'm an artist trying to put out good music.
Oh, and our local example, Mr. Robert Ritchie.
Pretty much.
I'm rap, now I'm rock, now I'm country, now I'm rock again. Because he wants to keep being Kid Rock. Because it's better than being Robert Ritchie, the fucking car dealer like his dad was.
You know what? I'll accept Kid Rock doing his thing. I can't. No. And Machine Gun Kelly is not a rock artist.
Hold on. That's not what we're talking about. Hold on.
I'm just going to say that. That's all I'm going to say.
It's easy. Let's keep the bus on the road.
No, I'm just saying. I'm going to sue him.
You assaulted me too. No means no. Turn that shit off. It assaulted my ears.
Yes. He ear raped me.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I don't have much more to add to the whole Astro. I mean, the whole thing's fucked up, but at the same time, I'm just like, people, this shit happens all the time. Like, I mean, not all the time, but every couple of years at a festival, someone dies, and it's fucked up. I really think it's because, one, this was people of a certain age is one of their guys. This isn't like the Who in Cincinnati in the 70s or early 80s, whenever it was, when the people got crushed when they opened the doors too soon. Or this isn't Altamont, or this isn't even Woodstock 99. This is our shit. And then also, everybody having a fucking film studio in their pocket. So all the fucking video that went out of it. I mean, that's just, it's different, I guess. I don't know, because I'm just like, okay, this is a fucked up situation. Some people died. That's really fucked up. Yeah, someone probably needs to go to jail. They won't, but somebody really needs to pay out the ass for this. That's about my take on it.
And they will.
I just don't get it. Am I missing something here? Is there something more to this? Are they trying to put some sort of social justice spin on it that I'm not catching?
A lot of people are completely and only blaming Travis Scott because of what you just said, Rich, with the video that went out over it. That he was literally singing over a dead body. The show must go on. I don't know where to stop this.
No,
he could have.
You don't think that
he could have?
You don't think he did? See, like that's like I'm putting that in with the fucking people were injecting drugs into. That sounds like urban legend shit.
What?
Yeah, but there's one thing we've learned
that he's singing over a dead body. Like, come on, man.
Well, there was somebody that was dead and he was on stage and singing.
Well,
it does. Okay, but Chris, okay, you're sitting here going, what are you trying to? Okay, first of all, what are you about to try to make a point about? Because if there's video of him still rapping, going into another song, and then they move the video camera from him to the fucking person dead on the ground. He was performing while someone was laying dead on the ground. Now, whether he knew that or not, if that's what you want to argue about, we don't know. So all we're doing is speculating.
100% positive he didn't know about all of this shit going on.
I mean, the only thing I watched like a little 10-minute video of someone who was covering it, who doesn't really seem to have a dog in this fight. Like, isn't a fan of him, wasn't coming down hard on Travis Scott. And he was just like, look, there is proof he does have a record of getting hostile with people on stage, talking shit, kicking people off stage who have every right to be on stage, neck downs or fucking photographers, guys running video cameras and shit. Okay, so the guy's a fucking prima donna. And I mean, like once again, I'm asking this because I just don't know. Why is this such a big deal? Is it simply because people saw the shit, or is it because people saw some shit?
They saw it live as it happened.
Well, there's also Dude, there's also, it doesn't matter what the fuck you show people. You can show people raw, unedited footage and they'll say it's fake. And they'll get up and they'll fucking walk away from you, dude. We talked about this last week. The Kyle Rittenhouse shit. Here's the unedited video. Here's fucking FBI drone video, unedited. Here's the fucking incident was up on the internet 20 minutes after it happened. He hadn't even been fucking arrested and charged yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think he was taken into custody 20 minutes after the incident first fucking happened.
No, he was standing there going, "I'm in trouble."
But do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can't, dude. If there's a lot of people. Okay, Trump. Some people are saying, who's saying this? No one I know of any repute or of any has any reputation of worth a fuck is saying it.
I've really got to stop painting with the broad brush. I really got to narrow it down. The people, the younger generation here in Wichita, are livid that he didn't stop the show and help the people that were being crushed.
Okay, so it's more of a generation.
And I heard it as it happened, because everybody was looking at their phone going, "Oh my God," while we're at a car meet trying to, do our thing. But they're like, and I'm like, why is everybody so mad about this? This happens just like we are today. And they said, why didn't he stop? I'm like, does he even know this is going on?
He doesn't know.
It's not up to him to stop the show. It's up to the producers. It's up to the sound check guy. It's up to anybody else who can see. He's under all of those lights. I don't even know if he knows if somebody's even left in the crowd.
Well, true. If the venue, right, kick on the house lights, cut the sound system. I mean, you stop the show, you can do it real quick.
Well,
and that's what I was trying to tell them is that venue was overbooked and understaffed. There was way too many people there. Way too many people there.
Okay, hold on. I thought this was an outdoor festival. If this was an outdoor festival, it's not like they had a mezzanine or no shit. That was just then it's a big ass field in front of a fucking stage, and you get in where you fit in. That's why they call it festival seating.
Yeah.
I mean, so okay. I'm starting to get a picture. People who have no idea about any fucking details have a whole bunch of opinions about shit that they are ignorant about. So this is where I tap out the conversation. Y'all keep talking until we're ready for our next subject.
I totally agree with you. I'm ready. Because I was ignorant of the whole thing. I didn't know if it was in or out. I didn't know that Travis Scott helped put on the show himself. I thought just an entertainer. I thought it was a Limp Bizkit type of thing. But
well, see, I was trying not to jump to the conclusion that this just sounds like people automatically assuming and assigning blame based on their own personal, like, why do you think that he's an asshole? Because I think it. Okay, that's not a reason. That's just your own personal bias showing you don't like the guy. Okay, great, wonderful. Or, I saw a video. Okay, what'd you see? Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard to make out. But boy, you're going to have an opinion and fight with people online about it, huh? Once again, if you can't have a discussion with me face to face about it, I'm not going to sit there and argue with you online about it.
Yeah, it definitely holds hand in hand with the Rittenhouse thing. I mean, it really does, because that's the name you know. Just like Travis Scott, that's the name you know.
Well, people want to,
and people do want to know their reality. Their reality is Travis Scott continued on with his music while people were being crushed. Has nothing to do with the venue. Has nothing to do with if enough security was there, enough room oversold. Does not matter to them a bit.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you a question, man.
All right.
You have an ex, we'll leave it at that, who you said used to love to play the, you don't know if maybe this happened to him. What about if this happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, anytime you have a criticism of somebody, well, you can't really call them stupid because you don't know what they were going through at the time. And then, boom, half hours of scenarios that'll never fucking happen. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. To me, this sounds like one of those situations. I think it's got the celebrity stink on it, so it's tailor made to get into the news. Blah 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 blah. Stay in people's consciousness. It's got the fucking. We have the on the spot video, and then
he's got all them old tweets and shit of wanting to people like. He's encouraging people to get rowdy at his shit, but it wasn't like, hey, like hurt each other, and it was like. What was it? Did you say it was like it's not a show until somebody's passed out? I mean, I remember us saying shit like that all the time. We were dumb. We were in our 20s. We were fucking hammered.
Well, this is once again, okay, remember in the 50s, like, or remember, like we were there. We're not that old.
Remember before we were born? Yes, continue.
But in the 50s and like maybe even into the early 60s and definitely into the late 60s when rock started getting a little weird for mainstream America, you know, the whole, oh, they're encouraging riots and violence and shit. And then it pretty much just went away, and every once in a while there'd be a flare up or, you know, the satanic panic of the 80s, you know, rats can send your kid to hell and Ozzy wants him to kill himself, your kid to kill himself and all this shit. But like that seemed to went away, like. And then Woodstock 99 happened. And I can tell you right now, that documentary we talked about, that's going to rewrite history for people who weren't there. That's the reality. That's the reality.
It's already started to.
Yeah. And
that's why I keep referring to it, because everybody in that documentary was like referring to Limp Bizkit and citing that riot. Because I'll fuck your ass raw.
I mean, I was watching that documentary like I was watching that documentary going like, damn, like I didn't like Limp Bizkit either, but man, like you're kind of hanging a lot of shit on them that don't really need to be hung on them.
Well, what was the back to back last three to end the night?
Wasn't it like Korn, Enrage, and Metallica?
Rage and Metallica.
Yeah, what did you expect?
And that's when someone actually died in the pit, died in the crowd.
It's like
due to being.
Hey, here's some gagasoline. All right, now I'm gonna throw on this kerosene. Hey, now I got some diesel. All right,
where's
the
outrage that they would? Where's the outrage that they would book three high energy bands like that back to back to back?
Three white bands. Nope. Oh, never mind. Rage is in there. Giving them a quota. Never mind.
Korn, Fieldy's Latino.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's true. Hammett's technically not white, right? Isn't he like Filipino?
Yeah, I think so.
This was before Rob Trujillo. He is Latino or Latinx, whatever the fuck he's Hispanic.
I don't know anyone who calls it Latinx besides PBS and really, really cringy ass white people.
Is it still Hispanic or Latino?
It's mostly white bitches. It's Latina and Latino. They're trying. Without getting too deep into it, I mean, if you know Spanish is a gendered language. You know, if you say Latino, that means you're referring to a male of Latin descent. Latina, female of Latin descent. They want to get rid of gender, Latinx. And it's like, really? We're going to have to change an entire, like, one of the most commonly spoke languages on this planet.
Well, too, because it's a Romance language, too. So you have to change French. You're going to have to change Italian.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. And here's the thing. Is gender that big of a problem? Is it really that big of a problem? Like that we have male
white people in the United States, it is.
All I'm saying is good luck when you get to fucking German. Because die and das, those are masculine, feminine, and neutral. Good luck.
Well, das. Yeah, there you go. Everything's just das in German then, right?
Germans are a bunch of fucking... Germans bend over and take it, man. They're still on that fucking... They're still on that fucking guilt trip from World War II. You know, that whole Hitler thing. They're still fucking doing the please forgive us fucking shit over in Germany. So if some
was on vacation for 20 years?
Well, let's be honest. If a powerhouse in the Western power structure walks in and goes, "You're changing your fucking language," what the fuck is Germany going to do? No, we're not. Oh, okay. Remember the last time you told us you weren't going to do what we told you to do? How'd that work out for you? Mm-hmm. Change your fucking language. Thank you.
Right.
I mean, that's how that's going to fucking go. So whatever. I'm not even fucking sweating that shit. That's the shit that's like, really? Well, I'm glad Aunt Jemima's not on the fucking box and Uncle Ben's not on or Aunt Jemima's not on the bottle, Uncle Ben's not on the box. Have we defunded the police? Have we restarted retraining police? Have we started de-escalation training for police? Have we demilitarized the police? No. But we've tore down a bunch of fucking statues and argued about pronouns for the better part of fucking half a decade.
And
yeah.
I bet you people have called the police a bunch of times.
And in fact, the side that was calling for defunding and reforming the police has had a few incidents where they all of a sudden were loving the police.
Yeah, that's what I'm just trying to say. January 6th, looking at you.
Well, I mean, it's like this shit in Wisconsin with this idiot driving into the crowd. All right. Dude's a fucking psycho. He's like multiple felon running from the fucking cops. 40-something, still thinks he's going to have a rap career. That's the most dangerous motherfucker on the planet, by the way. At least here in America, is a motherfucker in his 40s who thinks he's still going to make it as a rapper. Because that's a motherfucker with nothing to lose. Like, seriously. That's a scary
also delusional. Yeah.
That's part of why he's fucking scared. Because he's fucking crazy and he has nothing to lose.
I'm going to say it because we're all like the rest of the country. Were you surprised that was not a white guy? I mean, that was definitely a white crime.
No, but I heard about it after it had been. One side started saying it was a freak accident, aka MSNBC. It's a freak accident. Fox was calling it an attack, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah, the answer is in the middle somewhere. Yes.
Why are we getting immediately two narratives? And supposedly this just happened, and it was because the police were chasing him. They knew who he was, and MSNBC was burying the lead of, well, you know, he's a black guy who raps about killing white people and white genocide. And Fox was running with that, stuck right out front. So I
was on the fence. I was 50-50 because it's definitely a white crime. However, it happened where the white guy just got off. So I was 50-50.
Yeah, I'm with you. The timing was suspect because, I was like, oh, is this – because that's the other thing I thought of is like, oh, is this people pissed off about Rittenhouse? Yeah, because it was the same weekend. But yeah, definitely was – I mean, it's like, you know, if the rare school shooter that's not a white kid, you're like, oh, well, wasn't expecting this.
Well, we did this years ago on Unregimented where and this was when we had Todd on. So it was me, you, Aaron, and Todd. And there had been some shooting, and it turned out to be a woman, and it was like at one of the tech companies. I can't remember if it was like Yahoo or Google or some shit like that. And, you know, of course it was, oh, yeah, white male. We're shocked it's not that. And then, like, we looked up the stats, and it was like, well, that white male narrative kind of falls apart when you start looking at all the mass shooters. There's a lot of people from all types of ethnicities represented in that fucking list.
But not reported on.
I think we figured out. I do remember that. I think we figured out that the Latino community gets well. They don't get enough credit in the mass shooting community. I think that's one of the things we came out of that conversation.
No, and then there's also the fact that they will. I mean, we saw it, folks. You saw it with the Rittenhouse trial. We talked about it last week. If you feel Rittenhouse shouldn't be there, that's a moral judgment. That's not a reason to fucking send someone to prison because you disagreed and he did something stupid and he has no common sense. That's what, by the letter of the law, he's not guilty. End of story.
I mean, I had no dog in that fight at all till I saw the footage. I was like, well, that pretty much backs up what the defense is saying. Like,
but I mean, the people who are just like, no, don't care. Like none of it matters. I mean, none of it. And then here's the deal. If it does get to the point where the minute Rittenhouse was found not guilty on all counts, I noticed a good 80% of the loudmouth fucking hang 'em high Rittenhouse crowd shut the fuck up on the internet. And that told me everything I needed. I'm like, you people, you don't care about these issues. You just want an enemy. And you will go online and find someone you have no idea who it is. You'll take out all your impotent rage on that person on the other side of that fucking monitor. And why? Because you have no fucking control. Because you're a fucking cuck who gets pegged by fucking everybody in your life. You're a fucking useless piece of shit. And that's the only way you can fucking feel any power or control in your life. And that's what these stories fucking do. That's the purpose they serve. For better or for worse.
I know you guys talked about it last week, and I don't want to keep beating on it, but like, did you ever get to the bottom of how a white guy killing 3 other white guys is racist?
No, and I don't know how George Zimmerman, a Latin guy with a Jewish last name, is somehow a white supremacist either. But it's just because that's what they want to believe. So fuck it. We're just going to keep saying it. And it's enough people believe this. They don't even care if it's the truth, dude. Neither side does. That's the thing. It did not matter how that trial turned out. One side was going to shut the fuck up because, well, this was an all or nothing, all in, last hand of the night type fucking argument. It was real cut and dry. And you can't get in there with your fucking my truth and my reality.
While we're on this has happened since the last time you guys recorded. The guys who killed what's his name? Ahmaud Arbery were found guilty, right? So the system's still broken? That was broken when Kyle Rittenhouse was found innocent? Everybody? From a week ago? It's the same system.
And can I just say this? Where are the videos being posted and left up for weeks at a time on social media of people calling and out the jury and threatening them and doxing them like they did with the Kyle Rittenhouse jurors, and the threats that were just up for weeks and weeks and weeks all over all different social media platforms?
Interesting.
Because give me a second. Because if white nationalists is the biggest threat to this country, shouldn't there have been threats of violence, like just at least as much as there was coming from the idea that's Antifa or whatever the fuck on the left? But yet, maybe because they censor them? No, that can't be it, right? Because, I mean, if they had video of a bunch of white people going, we're going to kill everybody who's darker than a ginger with a sunburn if my boys don't walk. If we had a bunch of videos of these yokels saying that shit, I'm sure we'd be seeing them 24/7. Mm-hmm. So where the fuck are they? Where are they, folks?
Well, first of all,
I'm just saying.
The prosecutor in that case did a brilliant move. Never brought up race. Just made it about a bunch of human beings hunted down and killed another human being. That's how they won that case. That case wasn't in the headlines as much because they weren't playing the race card. It wasn't sexy. But it's interesting enough you bring up the juries of the Rittenhouse case, because this story saw the light of day. I should have sent it to you guys in the chat. Maybe I did. For maybe a fucking second. Maybe 12 hours of the news cycle. The day before the verdict comes out, MSNBC gets thrown out of that trial, gets banned from that trial by the judge because somebody who, it's funny, the press release that MSNBC put out was fucking, they were instantly distancing themselves from this guy, making it clear that oh no, this is an independent contractor, blah, blah, blah. But it was an independent photographer, freelancer hired by MSNBC who got caught following the bus that the jury was on trying to take pictures of the jurors.
Yeah.
The judge found out about that, fucking flipped out, threw him out of the courtroom, and then that was a blip on the news radar because the jury came back a few hours later.
Dude, from the minute that trial started and it entered the daily awareness of in the news cycle till it ended, there were clips on Facebook, there were clips on TikTok, there were clips on Instagram of people we've doxed the jurors. We know where they all live, including the alternates. You don't give us justice, we'll come take it. We'll make you pay. Those shits were up for 3 weeks the entire time the whole fucking trial was going on. The minute the not guilty verdict comes in, now they're pulled. Isn't that fucking amazing?
You know what's really tragic, I feel, about this whole thing? The whole thing. I mean, everything. Fuck it. All the way back to Rodney King and beyond. There's trials like this all over this country every fucking day. Every day. White versus black, black versus black, every day. White versus white, doesn't matter. Shooting, stabbing, fighting, whatever. Running people over. I mean, it's all over the country. What I don't understand is why we pick out such few cases and get irate about them. And then I kind of realized, well, there's video evidence. Because these huge stories, these huge cases, especially George Floyd and Rittenhouse, have extreme photography evidence.
Hey, man, throw it back. Video. Rodney King.
Right, extreme photography evidence everywhere. You never see any of the cases that are in probably the same court building, same courthouse.
Okay, first of all, you're asking...
If they don't have it.
Okay. You're asking the question, and it seems like you're trying to pose the answer to the question while you ask the question. So is your idea that it's because they have video and footage of this shit that they get pumped up?
That's why I think that's what I believe. Because just saying the black guy shot the white guy or the white guy shot the other 3 white guys, people are going to be like, yeah, happens every day. So
yeah, it's a clip they can show over and over. And it transcends
Right.
all media, right? You could show it on the news. You could show it on the internet. You can show it on YouTube. You can show it on
Well,
Facebook.
do me a favor here. Try to think and not just so one-dimensionally. I'm sure what you said does play a large factor in why it is one of the stories that get chosen from the fucking from the choir, picked from the choir. But there's other reasons that it was chosen. It causes divisiveness.
You
It gets
keep firing people
in.
up, right? Like you see Rodney
Yes.
King over and over getting beat. You see George Floyd get beat over and over. You see what the thing, Rittenhouse, right? You see that over and over. Yeah, it fires you up one way or the other. If you're
Talk to anybody who's a media expert, anybody who has studied how news has went in recorded history, not just recently, their lifetime, last 50 years, whatever the fuck. There's a lot of reasons for why shit gets fucking put forward. Like, okay, we have it's not Ghislaine Maxwell. How do you really pronounce her name? Because if not, I'm going to call this cunt Jizz. I'm going to be like Ghislaine. Because that's how her name is spelled.
Maxwell. That's all I fucking cared about.
Ghislaine.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on.
Well, anyways.
I called her Tom Brady's wife's first name at one point. I was fucking, I don't know what her first name is.
Well, I mean, people have been posting, let's see this trial get as much attention. And of course, for some reason, it's now right wingers want to see this trial, and left wingers are going, it's a federal trial. Educate yourself, take many seats, and all the fucking usual bullshit that comes from both sides are being fired back and forth with each other. And I'm just going, I hate you cocksucking motherfuckers so much, because this is something that we should all be in lockstep about. Fuck this bitch. If what she's accused of is true, fuck this bitch. I don't give a fuck who you vote for. Why does that even come into the fucking conversation?
For really.
Because you people are fucking conditioned, and a whole lot of you, everybody's conditioned. That's just the nature of a society. There's a whole lot of true believers drinking deep of that Kool-Aid who are just brainwashed through and through. And my side says this is my talking points. Here's my marching orders. And it's just like, look, I don't give a fuck if it is a federal trial. Why is it? Why do federal trials get to not have cameras in the courtroom, get to have redacted info, et cetera, et cetera?
I mean, minus the victims involved.
There are bigger
If
cases,
there was ever a
generally.
case for if there was ever a case for a public square trial back in the day, this would be that trial.
Oh, Chris, bigger cases, higher profile defendants, a lot more money at stake on both ends.
Well, and bigger charges too, like fucking definitely felonies, right? You're not Al Capone wasn't going to circuit court.
Yeah, I don't even know if there's is there federal misdemeanors?
I don't think
what do they do?
No, I don't think so.
They drag you across the state line and slap your wrist and then send you back into your home state.
Wait
I
a
don't
minute.
understand.
There are federal misdemeanors. It happens on Indian land, federal land.
Oh, canceled.
Okay. Well, sure. All right. Well,
Yeah, if they happen on federal land and it's a misdemeanor, it's a federal misdemeanor.
But look, man, it's the nature of the news. All right. Once someone figured out that someone wanted to report what was happening at some point, and then someone figured out, wait a minute, we can control and manipulate the masses with what we report. And that was the first moment that was realized. That was the end of journalism in history. And that was the beginning of full scale fucking propaganda. It's just, who is the propaganda for? And it's follow the money up the top of the ladder. Who owns the news corporation? There you go. That's who the propaganda is for. You're going to get their fucking slant, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's all it is, man. Believe me, they can't hide the fact that that Jizz Maxwell's on trial. But they'd be more than happy to keep burying it on the back page, metaphorically speaking, of the newspaper and hope that people forget about it. I mean, Jesus Christ, there was an interview on, what was it, MSNBC, I believe? I don't know. One of the legacy news channels, cable news channels. I think it was the Pfizer CEO. They were talking about, the booster shots and shit. And he's like,
is he in a gold suit?
He's like, yeah, it might be like one of those things. We're looking at it. It's going to be every 6 months from here on out. You have to get a booster shot.
Shocking.
Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, are we just like, he just admitted that. Like, he just admitted, like, they're like, yeah, we're going to make bank off this shit. And by the way, this shit being free, the minute they make it to where you got to get one every 6 months and flash your papers, government ain't going to pay for that no more. Because then they can turn into a crime if you don't have your papers and you don't have your booster shot. So instead of paying money for people to get the shot, they're going to make money off the people who refuse it by criminalizing them. Same thing we did with the drug war. This is nothing new. Everything is a grift. Everything is how can we squeeze another penny out of it. Once you look at the shit that way, you realize that for all your conspiracy theories that you believe or you laugh at, that the one fucking reality that keeps this fucking planet moving is money and greed.
Commerce.
Period.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
You know what they say. 'Tis the season. And Stop and Shop will help you make the most of it. Find everything you need for your celebration, like meat for roasting, trays for hosting, and drinks for toasting. Order online at stopandshop.com.
Give joy, give sport this season with Adidas for everyone on your list. Whether you're shopping for runners, sneakerheads, or treating yourself, Adidas stores have all your holiday shopping covered. Bundle up with loungewear for the whole family. Boost some energy into the season with Ultra Boost and NMD footwear. Or get into the spirit with matching tracksuits. Visit your local Adidas store or adidas.com to wrap your holiday season in 3 stripes.
Is your career taking you where you want to go? With Saia LTL Freight's best-in-class benefits, signing bonuses, and competitive pay, it's easy to see why we have the longest tenure in the industry. So whether it's cross-country travel, being home nights and weekends, or working from the terminal, we've got a career for you. Drive your future forward. Visit workatsaia.com. That's workatsaia.com.
You know what they say. 'Tis the season. And Stop and Shop will help you make the most of it. Find everything you need for your celebration, like meat for roasting, trays for hosting, and drinks for toasting. Order online at stopandshop.com.
Amazon is changing the way we think about TVs. Say hello to the Amazon Fire TV Omni Series, a new 4K ultra-high-definition smart TV with Dolby Vision and hands-free Alexa. This is Amazon's first hands-free TV with all your favorite Fire TV and Alexa features, now in one TV. You can stream all of your favorite content, shows, music, and more. The Amazon Fire TV Omni Series is available in a variety of sizes and competitive prices in store at Best Buy or at Amazon.com.
Is your career taking you where you want to go? With Saia LTL Freight's best-in-class benefits, signing bonuses, and competitive pay, it's easy to see why we have the longest tenure in the industry. So whether it's cross-country travel, being home nights and weekends, or working from the terminal, we've got a career for you. Drive your future forward. Visit workatsaia.com. That's workatsaia.com.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
I just heard of I forget what country it is, but there's a country that is now, if you are over 60 and you don't get your vaccination, they're going to fine you. I think that's what we should be doing here. That's how you do. How do you get anything done in this country? Affect somebody's wallet, right? People are going to be lighter in the wallet because they don't get the shot. Oh, hey.
Okay, so
or you give them money to get the shot. They'll get the shot. I mean, it's
that ain't going to happen. That first of all, don't ever count on stimulus checks happening again in our lifetimes. That shit was a one. Shit was a once in a
Well,
lifetime
actually,
thing.
if you have kids, you're still getting them.
If you have kids, you're getting a tax break up front. You're not going to get on the back end. Uncle Sugar's still going to get his cut. Believe me, I got friends that have been dealing with that shit. It ain't free money from the motherfucking government. It is definitely basically, we're not going to take this interest-free loan that we take in your taxes. We're just going to give it to you here because that's what or earned income credit was anyways.
Yeah, instead of giving it to you in April, they're just giving it to you all throughout the year.
Yeah, that's it. It's not like you're getting anything from the government. They're giving you your money back. They're letting you keep your money.
Or in the
Thank
case
you,
of
Massa.
people like me and Earl, just keeping your money.
Yeah, fuck you. Don't have kids.
Yeah.
Don't need the money. Mine
I
now.
should be getting more money. But I'm not going to go on to this rant again. But anyway.
With the Maxwell case, dude, there's more people already just going, you know what? Just so we're all clear, Miss Maxwell did not kill herself. Okay.
Yeah, we've been doing that for since the minute they took her into custody. I mean, dude, that's the new thing is, okay, Epstein didn't kill himself. She's not going to kill herself. Blah, 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 blah. And then the fucking, the usual suspects got in there and said, oh, these are the same people that, believe that like the Clintons had a bunch of people killed and they believe in Pizzagate and they believe in QAnon. And these are all just crazy people. And it's like, really? Do we not remember like the first few days after Epstein killed himself and we were supposedly, and like the entire world was just like that Bernie Mac stare from Bad Santa. Just like, are you fucking kidding me?
I was also a fan of the Justin Timberlake meme as well.
Yeah. It's like, you're going to do this shit right to my face.
That's because of what you said earlier. We need the bad guy. That was the bad guy. And he got off easy according to a lot of motherfuckers. And there's a lot of names that he was supposed to drop that now he can't drop. And then everybody was like, wait. We still got a bad guy.
I still think this was a rare display of bipartisanship to take out one man. Hey, Donnie, it's Bill. We got a problem. I think that some version of that phone call happened.
It doesn't matter. We're never going to know.
Yeah.
I mean, the horse is so far gone from the barn, you might as well just take a fucking chainsaw to the doors and cut them off.
I mean,
Don't
at
even
this
bother
point,
trying to lie.
You're asking the question, did Lee Harvey, was he a lone shooter?
It doesn't
Same
even
thing.
matter at this point.
Nope, same thing.
Anybody that could, and that was a completely
No, because in this one,
purpose.
there's way more evidence of gunmen on the grassy knoll with this one than in Kennedy, dude. Like Clinton, like he will, right now he'll tell you he will cop to be on that jet 4 times, but there are flight manifests that say, no, it's more like 24. Like there's far more there's far more evidence supporting the second gunman in the Epstein case than in the Kennedy case.
I get your point, but at the same time, these people know how to cover their ass.
Oh yeah, it's.
I mean, the Warren Commission published their report and then sealed everything for what, 75 years?
75 years, sure did.
Okay, if a person was born on the day that Kennedy was assassinated, the average American's lifespan wasn't 75 years on that day.
Yeah.
Chances are they were going to die before they found out what was in those files. So all the old men who perpetrated anything were going to be long gone.
Right.
Even if they fucking get 6-7 heart transplants, which does happen, folks.
So
there's rich people out there on their 5th, 6th heart.
What you're saying is Cheney might see it.
I'm just saying, dude. Cheney, cockroaches, and all the plastic surgery parts of Cher. They'll still be here.
And Keith Richards.
No, but I'm with you, dude, because these flight. But I hear what you're saying. Like these flight manifests read like, we're clearly in tinfoil hat territory now. Let's say there was an Illuminati type organization. A lot of people on these flight manifests would be in it. Like you talk about people who run the world literally, like presidents.
Here's the thing.
Bill Gates, like for sure.
I mean, without the tinfoil hat at all, there are a fuck ton, not just Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. There are a metric fuck ton of elites, not just Hollywood elites, just
that's what I'm saying. Like, you get into like
elites.
captains of industry, like people who actually run the world. That type of shit.
The 1%, the entire 1%, and probably half of the 2% have been on this island. And this is by no means not. There's no arguing that there was child molestation going on this island.
And can we also get rid of this narrative that it was just left-wing people? Come on, man. Horniness knows no political. A hard dick knows no political party, sir.
Dude, this is part of what irritates me. Rich people go to other rich people.
Yes.
Period. Okay, believe me. For all okay, maybe after the debates in 2016, Hillary and Trump will never ever sit in a fucking room together without security.
Yeah, but she was at what? Wasn't she at Ivanka's wedding or some shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's like pictures of her there.
And her and Cheeto Jesus and Billy Jeff were fucking in all types of photographs at this island or whatever the fuck at the parties with Epstein. Those people, this is what I try to explain to people. We're at each other's throats about shit that does not affect us. And we're being told to be at each other's throats about it. Meanwhile, the people who are actually behind the scenes are rubbing elbows with the so-called enemy because they're all there to make money. That's the end all right there. How much am I going to make off of this? I mean, seriously. I'm sure there's politicians and shit that hate each other from opposite sides of the aisle. Absolutely, those people exist. But the real movers and shakers, they're not real movers and shakers aren't like, I'm going to lose $5 billion because you support abortion or you support Planned Parenthood and I'm pro-life. No, fuck my principles. $5 billion is $5 billion.
It's too late for me because Chris already mentioned tinfoil, and I already went and got my Reynolds wrap, and here the fuck I go. I totally believe those people, when I say those people, not broad brush, very small, 1%, the top echelon of the world with all of this money, pick and use their party affiliation for their betterment. Meaning, they don't give a flying fuck about abortion, gun control, all of that shit, infrastructure. I need the pipeline shut down. I need it shut down because I want to get money from across the sea. How do I do that? I'm a Democrat. That's how. Okay.
Yeah,
and then they throw all the money at that Democrat and the Democrats, right? And then they come to a place like Epstein's Island or whatever, and they run into the guy who needs money, who wants the pipeline open. And they're like, all right, give me another 4 years, and then we'll switch. And they're like, bet. Well, what do I do? Well, you want the pipeline open. Yeah, you're a Republican. Go.
There's a lot of assumptions in your scenario here, Ice.
And then he comes out, and he's like, I'm Republican. Here's all the money to the Republican Party. This is who we're voting for. All my people, this is where we're going. Let's push it. The Republican gets elected. Boom, pipeline's open. Gas prices drop. Everybody's happy. In the meantime, this motherfucker is banking a fuck ton of money. Now he's back at the island. He's like, God damn, man, life is good, right? Right? Yep. All right, you had your point. You're good. Topped it off. All right, next 4 years, mine. Comes back, gets in the Democratic Party. Shut that motherfucking line off so I can get back to making money. I almost had to sell a boat.
So you just
there's a lot of assumptions and broad brushes in there, Ice.
Okay, well, because I mean, I get what he's doing. Because it's kind of how I am. You're trying to explain what's going on in your head. It never comes out as well as you think it will. But I mean, if I'm picking up what you're laying down properly, you just think that basically it's a bunch of fucking crooked ass fucking politicians, or excuse me, crooked ass fucking just criminals dressed up in politician clothes, passing around fucking the money bowl like a party joint, being like, okay, get your fill, okay, pass it on to the next one, get your fill, pass it on to the next one.
Except they're not politicians; they're businessmen. And
I got you, man.
Yeah, and they pick their traveling pony to go out there and I care about my people. No, the fuck.
Oh, yeah, that's politics. They say what they need to their constituency to keep their job because otherwise they have to work for a living.
You know what? All right, dude. As cynical as I am, I'm just like, okay, then why aren't we killing them?
Because that would take
Why
effort.
do we let just admittedly, by our own admissions, by our own morals, by their own rules, horrible fucking criminals who have blood on their hands run amok at the top of the pyramid in our name?
Because it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
I think in our lifetime, or I think in this country's lifetime, we're only getting one 1776. We are far too complacent a society at this point.
Right. But you missed the last show, Chris. I gave the answer. There's another answer without a rebellion.
What's that?
Shut it down. COVID gave us a definite map to do it, where you don't have to leave your house. Matter of fact.
That's not the easy solution.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah, no, it's not, because eventually
It'll be fixed in a week.
your electricity
Okay, hold on a
goes
sec, hold on a
off,
sec.
your internet
Okay.
goes away, you don't eat eventually.
Homie, it'll be fixed in a week. You don't have to wait until your bills are due. Because your stupid little
How does this
couple
happen?
$100 internet bill, your stupid $400 electric bill, whatever the fuck, means absolutely nothing.
So how's it happen?
These motherfuckers carry that under their shoe.
So you said it's in a week, it's fixed. So how's it fixed in a week?
If the entire country stops working, are you kidding me?
Okay, but what you're saying will never happen. Never.
Neither will a fucking full-on 1776. Neither will a rebellion.
What you are
dude.
describing is a fantasy scenario that will never happen.
Absolutely, and so is that rebellion. We saw it because the stupid January 6th thing was supposed to be it not even close. And they did
That's
a
why
very
I've been-
good job in making
Yeah,
that an
because
insurrection.
doing what it would have taken is hard and would have required effort, and you'd have had to not take a selfie.
Here's the thing.
You'd have had to brought a gun and not your cell
This
phone.
whole country, well, most of this country stopped last year. And the fucking government lost their mind.
They were
Lost
forced to.
their shit.
They were forced to stop.
Exactly. So if we do it as the people, said that's it, that's enough. I'm cashing in my white privilege card. Black people are going to stop blaming everything on us and start pointing the finger at the east side of the fucking country. DC, fix this shit now.
Hey, cool.
Close your fucking loophole.
I could wake up tomorrow morning with a
it's
12-inch
one
dick
thing,
and $3 million in my bank account. That shit ain't going to
It's
happen.
one thing, Chris. They have to close the loopholes where they can sell their fucking boat. That's what they have to do. Close them.
We've talked about
right now.
Then what you're saying requires, then you have to get to the root of the problem. Root cause, that's money. That's capitalism. You're talking about fundamentally changing what our whole society is based on.
No, dude. No, I am not.
Money
My
is the
vote
root cause
is
of
not for
everything
sale,
you're talking
Chris.
about.
Chris, my vote's not for sale, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, right now it is. You're absolutely fucking right. But you shut this country down. You stop this country. And those motherfuckers will have to listen to us. And put it in place that they shut those loopholes down.
Okay,
so
now
that
hold on.
they vote how we put them in there to vote, not how they got paid to vote.
Okay, hold on. All right, first of all, okay, you're throwing out 15 million fucking thing. You loaded the shotgun with buckshot and cut that motherfucker like it is a sawed-off shotgun. You just sprayed a whole room with buckshot. You have so many points coming out of you. Pick one. Let's run with it. All right? Because Chris brought up a good point. You are talking about changing fundamentally how this country fucking works, how Western fucking society works as far as the economics of it. You're talking about basically a worldwide strike against, well, anyone who isn't a powerful person. And okay, once again, remember we had this conversation? What happens the day after the revolution? Go. You won. Not a shot fired, not one person dead. You've won. Go.
Okay,
what do you do with it?
all right. Let me just say this. It's not about a worldwide strike. It's not about changing the economy. It's you stop it. You just stop it, like we did in COVID. Okay. Now,
But
the
we were
reason
forced to
stopped
stop,
it-
and the
wait,
moment
but
we
wait,
were
wait,
stopped,
wait. Just hear me
motherfuckers were
through.
fighting from like the moment we were stopped to get going again because human nature.
Because they couldn't afford to stop, Chris.
What are you talking about?
There was
For
no
the
end
first
game.
3 months, there was money being handed out left and right to fucking everybody. People who didn't even need it were being handed money the first couple months.
We had no idea about the handed money, bro.
Not talking
No
about-
idea.
What do you
about
mean?
the
No, I'm
hand
talking
of
about, we had an idea that we were being given free money at that time, so it wasn't about being able to exist.
All we heard about was $1,200 of a stimulus package for each individual American who paid taxes. That's all we heard about.
And people whose jobs were there one day and gone the other were all of a sudden making, at least in Michigan, were making $900 a week.
That didn't come till later.
What are you talking about? That happened immediately.
No one was making $900 a week. Are you talking about? Dude, maximum in this state was $370 before taxes, and then what? The $300 bump?
No, remember it was. Did you forget? It was $600 for like 6 months.
Oh yeah, you're right. I did forget. You know why? Because I didn't get that. I wasn't on that train, so I was deemed persona non fucking grata on that one. So I don't remember it. You're absolutely right. I did forget it was $600. Carry on. My bad.
Here's the thing, though. The reason we stopped last year was the virus. That's fine.
We were forced to.
You're right. But if we choose to,
Again,
and I mean
fantasy situation, that's never going to happen.
You're absolutely right. But what's more likely to happen is what I'm asking you, Chris. The fact that everybody sits home and says, fix our shit, and right now, or everybody sitting up at the fucking Congress in D.C. and going, fix our shit, and right now.
No,
what's more likely to happen?
What's more likely to happen is what the fuck has been happening since the Civil War in this country. Civil War never fucking ended. It just shifted. It's a culture war now. It's a war for hearts and minds. It's a war for the fucking what's acceptable in polite society and what's not. Right? We already got fucking states talking, and I'm not talking Texas, talking about seceding from the country and all this shit.
Oh yeah,
dude, that's where it's gonna fucking head. All right. And the USSR, people don't, united, once again, debalkanization. Does anyone know what that means?
I do.
Okay. It means breaking up of a bunch of fucking states that were united under a flag. Mm-hmm. I think that's the most likely scenario, no matter how ugly it fucking gets, because the average person doesn't have to do shit but show up and punch a fucking button or pull a fucking lever to get the right politicians who just won't back down from that shit. Because, yeah, there are politicians that are in the game, not for money necessarily. The money's good. It's a nice fringe benefit. But just like Chris has brought up plenty of times, they're driven by they crave power. They are power vampires. The more power they get, the stronger they get. Nixon was like that. I mean, and I'm not even talking to crazy true believers, like the people who were like, like the crazy man who would get elected to the White House, who's like, I believe in hellfire and brimstone. Tell me when, Lord. I'll press the button and bring the end times. I'm talking just true believers in, know what my party preaches.
I know it sounds weird. I said it in the chat. I'd rather have people motivated by greed rather than power. Because like greed, at least essentially on paper, with greed, there's an end game. Like eventually,
I think you have a better chance of rationalizing with a pragmatist who's pragmatic about his money. Because a true believer or a power hungry person, you're not going to rationalize with power.
Well, that's the thing with power. If they're motivated by power, it's never enough. You just want more and more and more and more and more. There's no end game.
Okay, well, corporations, government, religion, those are pretty much the three things you can serve. Or you can fucking stand on your own. But that's a lonely, miserable existence because no one wants to hear what you got to say because you're pissing off everybody because you're just going, you assholes are playing in shit and piss water and drinking it and bathing in it and you think you got it good. You're idiots. And here's the thing. You're pissed at your neighbor who's drinking and bathing in the same piss and shit puddle as you. Why don't you get mad at who will put you in that shit puddle? Or who... Notice the shit puddle wasn't there when you were younger. Now it is. Who let that happen? Why don't you get mad at them?
Well, this whole thing, like, trust me, I realize on the podcast I'm the unabashed capitalist. And it's for reasons of meritocracy and autonomy, I believe in it, not money. But it's, every time I hear the whole argument, and it's, Bernie always, it comes around when and the drum is beaten. It's still, and it was done recently when they wanted to tax these unrealized capital gains things, the rich aren't paying their fair share and this and that. And it's like, don't be mad at those people. Be mad at the politicians. Be mad at the tax code. Be mad at the people who write the rules, not at the people who are fucking just gaming the system.
And when you realize that you can't do anything about that, regardless of what politicians you vote for, sadly, by the time most people start realizing that, they're knocking on fucking heaven's door. They're in God's waiting room already. And because you've, give me a second, because you've lived long enough to see the cycle play out and start again. And the cycle's getting shorter and shorter because our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. Like, we are the overlap generation. Everything is going on now. Just make it from the religious right. I'm talking like socially, all the bullshit from the left that we hear. Just make it the religious right in the 80s, and that's exactly what we lived through already. All this shit, all these economic shifts. 1980 was a huge world economic shift. I mean, Reagan came in and deregulated a fuck ton of shit and got rid of the fairness doctrine, essentially laid the groundwork for Fox News. How much have they been a fucking world power since then? I mean, these things happen on a cycle. That's not a conspiracy. That's just the fucking reality of how the world works. We've seen all this shit before. It's just been repackaged for a new generation. Well, we're the generation we should fucking remember, because we should, unless you've been on TikTok for the last 5 years, you should have a fucking attention span longer than 15 seconds.
What I'm hearing
this is what I don't understand.
Baby Boomer 2 Electric Boogaloo? Is that what you're saying about Gen X?
No, we got 1 foot in the boomers and we got 1 foot in the millennials, and we're sitting here going, you two are arguing because you're exactly the same fucking group of people. I mean, it's not even just me at this point. It's fucking other people who don't give a fuck about telling the truth in public are saying this shit now. And the truth is, a lot of people have been saying it for a long fucking time. A long time. But no one's been listening. But now you see it. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. We're getting to the point where you can't even, in movies, you're not going to be able to fucking, have violence, because the woke left will be like, well, it's triggering for people. Well, what was the difference when it was a bunch of Jesus Christ lovers talking about you can't have violence in these movies because it offends my religion? Well, don't go see the fucking movie then. And if you're going to be triggered by the fucking movie, don't go see the goddamn thing. Why does your fuck-ups and your hang-ups get to dictate what everybody else gets to fucking enjoy on this planet? It's just irritating, man. And it's like, okay, I get it, man. You serve corporate America. That's who you've chosen who you're going to serve. I get it. You damn sure weren't going to do religion with your upbringing, and I understand that. And I don't trust the government, but a corporation, what recourse do you have? If they fuck you over, oh fucking well. And dude, the way it's going with globalization and shit, how long until we have fucking corporations who have private fucking police forces and shit?
I guess my answer to that would be,
actually are too.
Unlike a government or, well, not so much a religion, I can find another corporation to serve. When one disposes of me like one did last year, I found another corporate master to serve.
I mean, I guess that's one of the fringe benefits of that. I mean, in religion, as long as you don't do certain things, hey, how many times Tammy Faye Baker or Jim Baker was welcomed back multiple times. So was Jimmy Swaggart. I mean,
it recently dawned on me why I like capitalism, and I told you it has nothing to do with money. It's because it's the only really economic system where you have autonomy, right? And in meritocracy, essentially, it still exists. That's why I like it.
And I understand that, and I agree with that to an extent. But to sit here and act like because it's the best flawed system that it's above reproach, fuck that. That's not a game I'll play, dude. There are things we can fix. It doesn't need to be some fucking Mad Max bullshit, all taxation is theft, libertarian horseshit fucking fantasy land.
But the other thing
it doesn't need to be that.
But the other alternative, the other side of that, what you're talking about is everything's the DMV or the electric company, and fuck that. Like every experience is like going.
But to why do we think that? Because you know what? For a long time, it wasn't like that. There was periods of time it wasn't like that. I mean, if you wanted bureaucracy, if you wanted the fucking state up in your shit, you moved to a major fucking city. You want to be left alone, you moved out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Now you can't even fucking do that, dude. That shit's going away. I mean, why does it have to be one or the other? black or white. Isn't the point of this is America is supposed to be a very precarious balancing act? And that's why, yeah, we do need the people on the right. We do need the people on the left. And we need the people in the middle to go, would you two fucking idiots sit down and actually agree about one thing so we can start from a point of agreement for a change?
Someone going, hey, you both have good points. Shut the fuck up and agree on something.
I mean, I have no problem fucking playing the seesaw and letting the left and right fucking go up and down, up and down. I'll be the seesaw. But I mean, the one thing I can't do is sit here and have conversations and act like, oh, because it's your chosen fucking route of how, you look at life and you make sense to you that it's flawless and above reproach. It's not. And I mean, on top of that, dude, there's a lot of layers of this conversation. The capitalism that we experience is not the capitalism that people like Bezos and fucking Musk and Gates and all them guys fucking are exposed to and deal with. It's just not. I mean, major corporations get bailouts in this country, and poor people are told, do what the fuck you can with what you got. Sorry. A lot of winners, a lot of losers. That's how life is. But yet we have banks too big to fail. We have airlines we have to bail out after 9/11. And what happened? They turned around, pocketed a ton of. They turned around and pocketed that money and made it even more inconvenient to fly to increase their profit margin. I mean, has GM even paid off its loan from the government?
I remember a news story about that. It was recent, but I remember actually, yeah, they did.
Okay. Fair. I mean, that was an honest question. It wasn't a loaded question. It wasn't like, I know the answer, and I got you if you got it wrong. I just didn't know. Dude, I mean, come on, man. No. That's the thing. Like we're conditioned to dig our heels in and go, my side, right. No, your side can be right and wrong. They can be right about some things. They can be wrong about some things. And everybody could be you've been a manager, you've been a boss. Everybody has room for improvement. Nobody is excluded from that statement. No economic system, no government system, no nothing is excluded.
I said it today. There's always someone on the bottom.
No, I understand that, but
here's the only thing I could say, I guess be the last thing I want to say about it, is, Chris, last show I applauded you worked your ass off and it paid off, and that's great. A lot of people do. A lot of people do that, and a lot of people it pays off for. Some, they get screwed. They get thrown a curveball or what have you. Here nor there. In this country right now, I'm glad corporate areas are working for you and everybody else like you. That's great. And just like you stated, your former boss and everything, you had to find a new corporate. That's great. My problem is, and America's problem, is that there's far too many people below that line for whatever reason, their fault or not. And there's absolutely no help from them whatsoever. So what's the answer? Oh, well, vote. Yeah, that's great. They did. Go check the totals. Biggest vote in U.S. history. Huge. And it doesn't fucking matter because the people they put in office are going to be bought the moment they get voted in. So there's absolutely no help for people, for a vast majority of the American people. None.
Well, you know what? Because I agree with you up to a point. And the point I agree with you with is there's way too much of the government and the people who actively seek to have power in our lives. They're not sharing the secrets of how to get ahead. They're not making sure you actually learn life skills you're going to need to thrive and succeed in the world. They're not doing any of that, but they want to get in your life and tell you, you can't put this in your body and you can't watch this movie and you can't listen to this music and you can't do this and you can't say this word anymore and blah, 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 and this law and this bullshit law and this bullshit law. Okay, well, wait a minute. If you want to, fuck that. You want to be up in my fucking business that much? Then you got to pay the price. You got to pay the cost to be the boss. And we've completely lost track of that. Like at one point I did believe, okay, all right. This is pretty much in my mind, a truism. Any right the government takes from you only gets back. You only get it back in blood. That's it. That's the only way you're going to get it back. You can elect different leaders. You can fucking protest. You can peacefully protest. You can have insurrections. You can steal podiums. You can take shout out pictures in the Capitol. It doesn't fucking matter. It ain't gonna fucking change. What proof do we have? What's changed since all that shit happened in the last 2 years?
You can't go into a public building anymore.
Yeah, none of our rights have come back. They've just used it as an excuse to take more of them away from us.
Oh, though, I want to, like, what you just said, though. Like, I'm not trying to put too much of your business out here, but weren't you, like, the recipient of 2 public safety nets in, like, the last year, and you're sitting here saying, like, there's no help?
For the first year ever in my life, yes, I took advantage of a faulty system. I sure did. Admitted it, no problem. But, you know, it's funny that you said too much of mine. Let's talk about mine for a minute, because I talked about the plants closing in Michigan. Now, in 2008 in Michigan, if nobody who's listening has ever been there, it was a huge, huge depression. Huge. My wife and I had careers. We have college educations, and we were living great. We had a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, walk-through closet. It was amazing. Beautiful vehicles. Everything was beautiful. In 2008, that all stopped, and it had nothing to do with us. I took a buyout on a contract out of a school. My wife got laid off from her job indefinitely.
You made a choice.
We did not make a choice.
No, buyout. Like, what was the option of the buyout?
That I was going to be fired.
Okay. So not a choice. Okay, so it wasn't a buyout. It was
severance pay.
Severance pay, if you will. So it wasn't our fault, but the careers and everything we had worked our entire life for, gone. And there was nothing we could do about it. We couldn't plead to HR. We couldn't beg the man upstairs. Nothing happened for us. We had to go back, rebuild, and rework. And in that process, because of where we had gotten to, we were living in very, very high means. So we were looking to the state for some help. There was none. Not even a little bit, because we didn't have kids, because the law didn't allow for only so much money when you're unemployed. The law didn't allow us to get any help to pay our bills. The law didn't allow anything to help us. And then those motherfuckers turned around and helped the people that caused it. And I'm sitting in my house looking at my wife, and we had to file bankruptcy because that's where we were at. That was our choice. That was the choice that we had to make because that was the option given to us. And we didn't do a damn thing wrong but go to work. And we woke up one day and it wasn't there. And all of the time that we spent getting our degrees, all the amount of work we put in to get the experience don't mean a damn thing. Not one.
It does when you go to get your next job. It absolutely does.
Oh, really? Because the only job that we could find in Kalamazoo, Michigan at the time was a casino opening for a dealer. Had nothing to do with a history teaching degree.
Okay, but once again, okay, no, dude, no, I can't do this for. Once again, why are we arguing about the next job, this and that? Your point is, unless I'm misunderstanding, that through no fault of your own, your entire world came crashing down because of the actions of other fucking people. And instead of getting help from the government, you guys, they actually helped the people who were responsible for this shit. That's right. That's a valid point. Learn to shut the fuck up after a valid point, dude. Okay?
I did. Chris told me that it meant when I went to the
because
next
that's
job,
what Chris does, dude. He's a contrarian. Hi, have you met him?
No, his point is you kept going and started trying to say other shit when you made a good point.
All right, so point made. So there you go. So that's the people now that is in this country. Those people, me, us. So yeah, a bone came my way once last year, and you're goddamn right. I was like, absolutely, this is money owed. This is a long time overdue. Where you been? Hell, far, my first wife's already gone. She died. And now you're going to give it to me? All right, give it. Fuck you.
Dude, how many businesses got fucking who didn't need it got money from the government because of COVID? And, you know, when I start hearing about like Walmart, the millions of dollars they got, I'm like, for what? Okay, if Walmart can't cover their nut and they never closed, then then this system is not this system isn't sustainable.
Yeah, they gave
End
Walmart
of fucking story.
money because if their employees went out on quote unquote COVID related issues, that's where that money went.
Well, no,
They got
because it
paid
comes
for
from
shit.
it comes from a fundamental misunderstanding though of how the PPP worked. It was called the Payroll Protection Program. It was all based on the size of your payroll. It was if you asked for money and your payroll stayed the same amount, it didn't even matter if it was the same people. If your payroll stayed the same size, then depending on how much you asked for, it was either totally forgiven or it was just like considered a really low interest loan over time. So that's what it was. It was given to keep businesses' payroll funds afloat. Now I get what you're saying. Don't think Walmart needed it, especially since businesses like Walmart were fucking breaking records and like selling out of toilet paper and shit during all this time. Definitely making money wasn't a problem. But I just wanted to put that's what the PPP really was. It was to keep your business solvent, to keep your business there if you were a smaller business, so you could keep paying your people, so you didn't, it was based on the trickle down theory pretty much.
No, look, dude, I get all that. I don't know. Here's the thing. None of this is going to fucking change, because to change it, you got to get in there and you got to fucking strike down laws and pass new laws and this and that. And we can't do that in this country. This is not a sustainable business model in this country. No, you're right, Chris. You're right, Chris. Capitalism, it ain't going to go anywhere, because it's the only way. It's the only chance, really, for someone to start off with nothing and die with a whole lot more shit than they had when they fucking came into this world. You're absolutely right. I mean, you get into other economic systems throughout history, it was pretty much like, social caste. What's your family? Who were you born into?
Right. You want to be like
were
India?
You born into power?
Hey, you're born,
et cetera, et cetera.
It's like Futurama, right? You're born a delivery man, you die a delivery man.
Here's the deal. These businesses have no loyalty to this fucking country, to the people in this country, to anything in this country. And believe me, we will eventually hit the tipping point where they've pretty much got everything they can get out of this fucking country, and people are pissed. And yeah, some other country will go, come on over, we'll give you all the tax breaks in the world. We're a developing country. We'll do it. And you know what? Our standard of living is going to plummet. And then people can have their equality of outcome that they've been beating the drum for, which has made people like you dig your heels in even harder, because once again, I understand these are idiots coming at you going, we should all have the same outcome no matter where we started at, and blah, 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 no matter how hard anyone worked, the outcome should be exactly the same. And that's acid to your ears, dude. That's the antithesis of music to your ears. And it bothers me too. But I can't let it I can't let my hatred of those idiots and their ignorance blind me to the reality of the situation.
Well, everything you're talking about, really, like, it gets down, capitalism, really, it's numbers based. It's a giant addition and subtraction problem. Like, it's really like it. Yeah, you're right. They don't have any loyalty. That's why you think the auto companies fucking, as soon as NAFTA was a thing, like, peace, we're out of here. You could take your unions who want, CEO pay for grunt work, and we're going to fucking go to Mexico and go to China. Yeah, they got to have money left over. That's how it works.
And Chris, me personally, I have zero problem with capitalism. Great on you. Good. Like I said with you, great. It worked. I have a problem with capitalism as practiced on Capitol Hill. Those motherfuckers are already getting high to mid six-figure salaries.
Dude, we've had this conversation on Regimented a million times. You have to fix that, you have to take money out of it. And that's like, that is the root cause of that problem. Money.
That's what I
revenue,
said. Close the fucking
cash.
loopholes. Quit it.
Again, a fantasy world where I have a 12-inch penis and a $3 billion bank account. Shit, that's not going to happen. Like, it's just at this point, it's not plausible.
I'll be honest with you. The industry that you and I have the most experience in, I don't think is going to be around in any recognizable form in 10 to 20 years.
That's why I bailed on it. I saw that article from the NAB this year. It's like, what the fuck am I doing? I keep doing the podcast thing. That's going to far more future than that. That's where everything's going.
Well, I mean, dude, unless you're a fucking nice bougie or semi-bougie or you're a Applebee's or some shit chain restaurant, sit-down restaurants are going the way of the dodo as far as fast food. Pizza places, most pizza places haven't had dining rooms for fucking decades now. And if they do, it's usually, a couple tables and maybe a fucking a booth or two if you're lucky.
All takeout windows and third-party delivery, sir. That is COVID changed the restaurant industry forever.
I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. And the people who adapt to it the best and play the business game in this country the best will be the people who come through on the other side holding the most fucking cash. All right. But in the meantime, if we're going to have this cavalier attitude of, well, capitalism is going to chew up and spit people out, and that's just how it is, then don't be surprised when people become ruthless capitalists and basically adopt a mentality of, well, I'm going to eat by any means necessary, and I'm going to elect people who are not going to throw me in jail. I mean, California, what is it? You can walk in, steal up to $1,000 worth of shit. They can't stop you. Cops won't do anything. There's videos of it in fucking CVS.
Yeah, they don't prosecute till $1,000 now. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all day long. That's what you get if you let capitalism run around ruthless with no checks and balances. Because you're going to have those two extremes. Because people are not going to starve. And believe me, the more and more, we've been saying this for what? Since Unregimented started, but probably 90s at the latest, we started shifting towards a service economy in this country instead of being a manufacturing economy. NAFTA, it pretty much was the final nail in that coffin. And there's service industries changing now. There's going to be a lot of people who ain't going to be able to fucking survive. Yeah, okay, we'll raise the minimum wage to $15, and we raise the cost of everything in proportion to the minimum wage going up.
Oh, yeah, and we were talking about this at work.
Now instead of paying $2.50 for a gallon of milk, now you pay $5. So how'd that fucking $5 raise feel when it's gone when you buy 2 gallons of milk?
Well, the other thing too is that we talked about it at work. I brought it up before. Labor margins ain't going to change. It's going to be like, hey, you make $15 an hour. Cool. Enjoy your 10 hours a week. That's what it's going to be. There's going to be more people on staff who are all working like 10, 15-hour weeks.
Kind of on your guys' topic. Do you guys remember the Taco Bell $39, $79, $99 menu?
It was $59, $79, whatever. $99, sir. Oh, yeah, no. Back in the... Oh, yeah. Trust me, every time I buy a taco now is $1.59. I'm like, man, I remember when that dollar used to not be there.
Yeah.
But that's an Earl Sequitur, by the way. That's apropos of nothing.
No, I was having that conversation with somebody the other day. Remember in the $59, $79, $99 menu because we went to Taco Bell.
Well, but you know what? That is relevant because you know what? So we brought it up. So there's no dollar menus anymore. Okay, there's your $15 an hour. Cool. Like what Rich said. Yeah, cool. Enjoy your hamburger that used to be $1. It's $5 now.
Well, I mean, they still have a dollar menu, but it's extremely short.
Or it's like 2 for $3. It's essentially $1.50 menu.
Like a McDouble, but on a McDouble, there's only one piece of cheese instead of 2.
Yeah, that's what I learned. Yeah, that's what it is for real. The 1 piece of cheese, it's a McDouble. The 2 pieces of cheese, it's a double cheeseburger.
Double cheeseburger, yeah.
Right. And the McChicken's $1, and every large drink is $1. But
I haven't been to McDonald's in so long because the lines are always so long now. I don't stop at that bitch. I look for the place where I go now is the place with no line.
McDonald's Big Mac meal is now $8 fucking.
Well, dude, you can eat shit with your Kansas prices. That's just been like $10 here for a while.
Oh shit!
Yeah, dude, you're over here crying about fucking, dude. It's $2.39 for a fucking McDouble up here, dude.
He's like, gas is $3 down here.
It's $4 out here.
Yeah.
It's $2.94. Yeah.
It's $9. It's $9 for a pack of cigarettes. It's $4 for a gallon of gas. It's $5 for a gallon of milk. It's
Jesus Christ.
Almost $12 for a meal at McDonald's.
I would be fucking homeless if I was up there. I'm not even kidding.
Oh yeah, man. You want a good value meal, quote unquote value meal now? You're dropping a 10 spot from at anywhere. You're giving them 10 and getting change.
Well, apparently Taco Bell has a $5 box, and like about 15 years ago, I stopped really being a fan of Taco Bell because they figured that, what's the cheapest thing we could fill up our food with? Refried beans. This flavorless fucking baby fucking shit consistency texture garbage.
See, my thing was when they had all the food started fucking the other food. That's when I started tapping out with Taco Bell.
But dude,
the lot of ideas were just smashing them all together.
Okay, the $5 box is supposed to be like, their specialty taco. So that's one of your food items. A regular taco, a burrito supreme, and like a drink for $5, right? Well, today my buddy, he comes home. He's like, hey, I didn't finish this. I got one of them $5 boxes. It's burrito supreme. Burrito supreme used to be, pretty standard: meat, refried beans, lettuce, onions, tomatoes, sour cream, cheese, wrapped up in a burrito. There's your burrito supreme. This motherfucker was a couple strands of shredded cheese, no lettuce, no onions, hardly any red sauce, maybe 2 bites worth of meat, and the rest just fucking refried beans, dude. And I'm like,
what the fuck is this?
I'd be pissed.
Throw it back
seriously.
At him. You forgot the burrito supreme.
This is a waste of fucking time. Whoever did this, you might as well send them out for a smoke break. This is absolutely useless. But that's how shit's, dude. That's how shit's. It is what it is, folks. You know what? It is what it is, and we've decided that the people at the top, their salaries can go up 400% in 40 years. And everybody else's salaries go up like 30, 35%. If they want any more, boy, they're greedy. The fuck is wrong with you? Be lucky you got the scraps you got and shut the fuck up. Don't pay attention to fucking the jet skis and the fucking, 150-foot yachts and shit. No, don't worry about that. Stop asking for more money. And we've just decided that's fine. Yeah, okay.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
If you work at any size business, nonprofit, or household in New York City, you have the right to safe and sick leave. That means time off work to care for yourself or family without fear of losing your job. Use leave for COVID to get tested, quarantine, recover from the vaccine, or for a cold, to get treated for anxiety or depression, or to find shelter from an abuser. Call 311 or visit nyc.gov/workers to learn more.
Is your career taking you where you want to go? With Saia LTL Freight's best-in-class benefits, signing bonuses, and competitive pay, it's easy to see why we have the longest tenure in the industry. So whether it's cross-country travel, being home nights and weekends, or working from the terminal, we've got a career for you. Drive your future forward. Visit workatsaia.com. That's workatsaia.com. Do you love what you do? Work at Saia LTL Freight, and you will. We've been the most elite team in shipping for 95 years and counting by caring for our people like family. So whether you're on the docks or in the driver's seat, when you put on our uniform, you're joining a first-class tradition of excellence. Start your new journey with us today. Visit workatsaia.com now. That's workatsaia.com.
For 40 years, Michael Myers has haunted this town. He's the essence of evil, and evil dies tonight.
We're gonna hunt him down and we're gonna put an end to this.
I want to take his mask off and see the life leave his eyes. Happy Halloween, Michael.
Halloween Kills, rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent, in theaters and streaming only on Peacock now.
You know what they say, 'tis the season. And Stop & Shop will help you make the most of it. Find everything you need for your celebration, like meat for roasting, trays for hosting, and drinks for toasting. Order online at stopandshop.com.
Give joy, give sport this season with Adidas for everyone on your list. Whether you're shopping for runners, sneakerheads, or treating yourself, Adidas stores have all your holiday shopping covered. Bundle up with loungewear for the whole family. Boost some energy into the season with Ultra Boost and NMD footwear, or get into the spirit with matching tracksuits. Visit your local Adidas store or adidas.com to wrap your holiday season in 3 stripes.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
I mean, I love people who are like, Chris, your death on unions. Oh, organized crime and unions are corrupt and blah, blah, blah. So's the government. Why don't we abolish that too?
Oh.
I mean, if that's the attitude, if the attitude is unions are fruit of the poison tree, so it's a poison tree. It can't. Hold on. I'm not done. If the tree's poison, it can't produce any good fruit. Well, if that's how we're looking at the unions, well, we can definitely look at our politicians that way. And once we're done taking the politicians out, we need to start looking at the corporations that way too. If we hold everybody to that same standard, eventually there'll be fucking nobody, dude.
Well, my answer to what you're saying is
then
the only way to regulate the regulators, at least in this country, is Earl, you mocked it, but vote. It's the only way we got. It's literally the only thing we are given as citizens of where we live to try to even do that.
And the older I get, the more I'm just like, if voting mattered, they wouldn't let you do it. I truly believe that.
That's so true.
I mean, dude.
Are you saying they stole the election?
No, he's saying exactly what I said. It doesn't fucking matter. They're bought and paid for as soon as they get there.
How has your life changed via any president directly?
It hasn't. I know it doesn't matter. I just try to get mine. I guess that's just how I'm like, fuck it. Red tie or blue tie in charge doesn't really fucking matter. I'm just trying to, I'm a squirrel trying to get my pile of nuts before I go back to the earth.
Okay, and see, that right there is at least honesty that I can respect. And here's the thing. I can't blame people who have to adopt that mentality. Because I'm going to tell you what, they weren't born that way. They took a look around and saw how the world worked and said, oh, if I don't act like the animal, like the rest of these fucking pigs and animals do, I don't have a shot. Well, I guess I better get down in the mud, start rooting around. I mean, that's what we're creating. We're creating a society that's basically everyone's. What have we got right now? Everybody's got their pet issue that the whole world has to stop and have awareness of. No one cares. No one. The vast majority of the shit that we argue about around election times, no one cares about 3 days after the election. Seriously, and even the big issues. Okay, gay people have been getting married since 2004, and you know what I'm saying? Like, is the world coming to an end? But you guys remember the run up to the 2004 elections and all. Boy, that was the wedge issue to get people out to vote. Want gays settling down? Can't have that. I mean, dude, that's what I'm saying. If the end result is just everybody for themselves and it's a cutthroat society, then let's just drop all pretense of a polite society and just embrace our fucking inner animals and get it over with.
But we are kind of everyone for themselves. Like you literally just said the word. We always forget we're animals. We like to think we're all highly evolved and shit. We are to a point, but we are mammals. We're mammals who talk.
Okay, even though I do agree that and to a certain extent with the philosophy that, consciousness was one of the worst missteps of evolution for humans. Take the cynical and the pessimist side away from that. And but for as much as we evolve, we could evolve a lot more. But there's people who have vested interest in us not evolving and keeping at each other's throats.
Oh, yeah.
Why do we have to fucking sit there and do it? Why do we have to be the marionettes on the strings for these idiots?
Because I think it's always going to happen. Because I think, like, before politics, it was religion, right? I mean, we've always talked about how the two at this point are married. They're the one and the same. It's two different houses with the same blueprints.
No, we've removed religion from pretty much.
I'm saying religion was the predecessor to politics. Now politics is our religion.
Yeah, and he said it, money. It's the reason we have to keep each other at each other's throats.
But we were doing it before with religion.
Right. And if we don't keep each other at each other's throats, well, then we'll all realize, well, fuck, you're in the same boat as me.
Churches
Why am I mad at you?
No taxes. We always pick on the Catholic Church and their real estate holdings just because they're the largest one, but all churches pay no taxes. So say, like, they were grifting with religion before, and then the money dried up on the grift, and it seems now we've moved on to politics.
So if capitalism,
it's a society thing.
If capitalism and the cutthroat nature of it is our destiny, no matter how hard we try to fight it, then the most enlightened people on the face of this planet are sitting in prisons right now, because they're the ones who realize that ultimately the only way to get ahead is to kill all your competition and take everything you want from it. Because that's the ultimate end game of unchecked, unregulated, unrestricted capitalism.
That's
I just
extreme.
want to point out that Epstein didn't kill himself. There you go.
No, I mean,
and I would argue they're not
that's,
sitting in prison because they have not gotten caught and they're good at it. And they're out there
those are
still
the
doing
elite
it.
criminals. But the people who have figured out the world the best are the people who look at the world that way. If that's the case, then what the fuck are we doing, dude? Why are we even acting like we care about improving the world or leaving a better world for our children or our nieces or nephews or whoever the fuck? Let's just fucking hold hands and jump off the fucking cliff and just have a good old grand time killing each other until the end of the fucking species. Because I can't believe this, dude. I can't believe this is it. This is ultimately everything that fucking in human history is just to fuck over your neighbor for one fucking more penny in your bank account than he had, to destroy his life so you can say, I'm 1 cent richer than you. I just don't buy it. Dude.
See, I'm not. Maybe I'm getting more philosophical here. I'm not even actual money even. It's just about you and yours and taking care of you and yours. Because when you get down to what are families or little tribes, and it's really what it ends up being all about. Just taking care of you and yours.
We've destroyed the family in modern society, in Western society. We've been doing that since fucking no-fault divorce. And you don't like the way he parts his hair. You don't like the way she talks to you when you wake up in the morning. Get divorced. And we turned into a cottage industry.
But I know other people that will tell you, oh, no, we have redefined the family, sir, in 2021.
Well, then those are people who the reality doesn't bother them because they don't live in reality. I mean, the reality of the situation is 85% of people in prison come from single-parent homes. Now, the flip side of that, because that's a stat that a lot of people on the right like to throw out. But on the flip side of that stat is something that the right doesn't like to admit, but the left will pound this fucking war drum all day. 2-parent homes, you have a better chance of never seeing the inside of a jail cell. And it doesn't matter what gender the parents are. It could be 2 dads, 2 moms. You just grew up in a home where the television wasn't your babysitter and you weren't left to your own devices to figure out how to get through fucking life. And that amazingly, when you have some sort of supervision and guidance, it greatly improves your chance of keeping you out of prison. Isn't that amazing? But we can't even agree on that fact because there's too many political agendas being pushed. And no. This is one side, and this is the other side. No, the side we need to worry about is what's best for us. I mean, if I'm a businessman, if I'm Musk, if I'm one of these fucking people who are self-styled masters of the universe, I want to get us and expand us out and colonize as much of the fucking universe as we can, because every new planet, more people are going to start fucking, and there's going to be more potential customers for it. But instead, it seems like they're so intent on squeezing the last fucking dime out of this fucking planet and the people on it, and they don't care about the wreckage they leave in their wake. And I can't just go, that's just the way it is. If that's the way it is, then fuck it. What are we doing, man? Let's just go out and just start fucking taking what we want, because that's what it is going to end up being. Let's stop the pretense.
Exactly. Here's the problem, Rich. Throughout history, it was that way. Kill or be killed. Go get as much as you can because you're taking it with you. That's what they thought, right? So they did that throughout history. All of a sudden, some people grew a conscience and started throwing around a word called morals, and we need to be more civilized and better beings. And then they threw that pretense on it. Civilization. We're going to be civilized people. We're not going to go hunt and kill everybody who walks the planet because we're greedy and we want to take it with us. We're going to love thy mother, love thy father. We're going to raise good, wholesome children.
I got you.
Okay,
dude. Come on.
Okay,
man.
so that's where that is. Now we go to today. We're going backwards through history. It's a history repeats itself.
Or just what? We're just a little bit more civilized because we do it with a suit,
because you do it in private, Rich. You do it in private.
Because we do it with a suit and a briefcase in a court of law and with a lawyer instead of at the end of a musket. So we're more civilized.
He just said what I said. He said first it was religion, now it's politics.
I mean, look, dude. I don't have any fucking grand answer because there is no one answer to solve any one fucking problem. That's your own bullshit ego refusing to fucking admit that there are more layers to this onion than even you are aware of. But we're so fucking drunk on our own fucking hubris about, we're the most illiterate generation in the history of the planet, blah, 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 until the next one comes along. Yeah, you're right. Like, we are just a blip on the fucking radar, and it's like, there has to be more to this. Do you really want the people around you to suffer as long as you live a little bit better than them? I mean, is it the default baseline of human nature? Because I don't feel that way. And maybe if everyone else, the majority of everyone else does, maybe that explains a lot of fucking things for me. Because I don't want to, Chris, I don't want to see you fucking living hand to mouth because I'm doing bad. I don't want them to come take shit from you and give it to me. Because first of all, what's likely to happen? They're going to take it from you. They're going to take their cut. We're both going to be living off the scraps now.
Yeah.
So we're both going to be living like shit. But yeah, the middleman, the government who's going to redistribute it is going to make their fucking mint off.
Speaking of the mob.
Yeah, exactly. It's all mob tactics.
Doesn't the mob call, isn't another word for taxes? Doesn't the mob call it a VIG?
Yep. Well, I mean, is it any...
You mean those unconstitutional income taxes, those?
Is it any shock that the mob, the Roman Empire, and the Catholic Church all come out of the same fucking area? And they all pretty much run on the same business model? Or ran on the same business model? Create a government, create a need for the government, and then create an excuse to keep the government running and perpetuate itself. So bureaucracy. I mean, and then get your middleman cut. That's the government. Catholic Church, do I even need to explain how churches take their cut? 10%. You have to tithe it. That's what God said. It's in the book. We wouldn't lie to you, fuckhead. I mean, and then the mafia, they're just the most honest about it. You know, it'd be a damn shame if you didn't pay us, your 10% every fucking month. And, I don't know. You had 2 compound fractures on both your legs. That'd be a damn shame, wouldn't it? At least they're honest.
Careful where you walk.
But I mean, it's all the same business model, isn't it?
Well, no, the government would be like, hey, it's a nice paycheck you got there. Be a shame if someone started taking more of it than they should have because you owed us money.
Yeah, we'll throw you in jail next to Blade in federal prison. And the church, you got to be a little bit more neurotic because you're gonna burn in hell if you don't pay us.
Yeah,
but hey, it worked.
That's a nice soul you got there. Be a shame if it burned for eternity. Exactly.
And then governments are just, do you like breathing? Pay us or we'll kill you. I mean, or mafia.
Yeah.
You like breathing? Well, pay us, we'll kill you. Okay.
Or the government.
And believe me. Don't pay the government. Refuse it.
Depends on the government.
Prison. Yeah. They'll kill you. Yeah. Well, I mean, whatever. It doesn't. I mean, I guess, man. To me, I'm just like, if that's the attitude that you got to have to make it in this world, then I maintain what I've been saying for years now. I'm not built for this world.
What I'm hearing is it sounds like blackmail is a part of human existence. We're all being blackmailed emotionally somehow. Hey, that's a nice blank you got there. It'd be a shame if blank happened to it.
Never thought of it that way. Now you put it that way. A lot of things in our culture work that way. A whole lot of things. Hey, do you like eating? Be a shame if you didn't go to work. Be a shame if you didn't fucking piss away hours of your fucking life on a job you hate just so you can put passes for food on the table.
Hey, that's some nice electricity you got there.
Yeah, you like light at night. It's not created by a fucking candle. Then you better pay your bill.
Everything that's happening right now is possible because of electricity. The internet, the microphones,
the show you're listening to.
Yeah, you had to charge your phone with electricity to listen to this.
Well, let's move on from this wonderful fucking uplifting topic.
We always seem to get into an economic discussion.
Because you know what? It's a more intelligent discussion than the new Marvel film. The director come out and said that if you're a man baby, he doesn't want you to see his movie and all this shit. Like, at least we're talking about something that really fucking matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm convinced, whatever, fuck it. You guys remember talking about Kevin Smith's version of He-Man?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Around the time we first started. Well, part 2 has been released, and part 2 is totally exactly what everybody was saying. Oh, well, they'll probably just, kill off He-Man or put him in the background and promote Teela and, and this and that and all this shit. That's exactly what they did. And it's all this, there was all this drama because people basically called their shot, or called Kevin Smith's shot about what he wrote when he took control of this show. And he got pissed, and of course, oh, you're man babies and you're scared of strong women and shut the fuck up. No one cares, blah, 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 blah. And all this drama started. Now part 2 comes out, and everyone who said this is how it's going to go, it went just like they said, and nothing from Kevin Smith, nothing from the usual suspects. And I'm just like, that's how quickly we moved on? Really? Because this was a big fucking story in the entertainment industry. Now the end of the story is just a footnote. It's a little blurb on a website, the very corner when you scroll all the way down. And I'm just like, wow, that's how easy it is to manipulate people. Just get people pissed off about this nonsense. And ultimately, the people that they were saying were wrong, and you're saying this because you hate women and you're a racist and you're a homophobe and you're a reactionary and you're ugly and your mama dresses you funny and everything else, they turned out to be 100% right. And okay, now what? Nothing? Oh, okay. All right, cool. I just thought it was funny, but
we have no sense of irony anymore.
Well, no, dude, like at this point, I'm like, how much of this shit was stirred up on purpose? I'm starting to wonder if some of this shit ain't plants. Like when these movies come out, if the movie studios aren't like hiring people to go online and like just basically post cut and paste shit and start shit just to get them free advertising because outrage clicks. It's like the line from the movie Seven. You know, when a woman moves from the country to the big city, the first thing they teach her is never yell rape if she's being attacked because everyone will ignore it. Yell fire because they'll come running. Outrage clicks.
Yeah.
If every story was look at this cute puppy, it would get hardly any clicks. But if someone said this puppy's being oppressed by racist fucking MAGAs, MAGA hat wearing fucking blah 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 blah, that thing would have 15 million clicks in 10 seconds.
Yeah. Or if it was this puppy is going to die because of Joe Biden.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah. Obama's going to kill this puppy. No, man, it's I always just like I'm just, like listening to that Escaping the Cave. Find it on wherever you listen to your podcast. It was in late 2019. There was a series on agitation propaganda. I listened to that. I was like, wow, he just essentially just explained the internet. It was fascinating. And I just look at everything, and it's just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, even the stuff that shows up in my Google News feed, even though I've curated the fuck out of that thing for like 5 years, I still know, like, okay, that's here because it knows I want to see this. You know, like, it's just what, I don't know, man. Like, you've brought it up, like, it's just a blip, right? What's our average life expectancy? Less than 100 years? Man, there's just shit I'm not going to even worry about now. And just, it's, I don't know. A therapist could probably have a field day with me in my detachment, but I was brought up religious, so, you know, I'm good at it.
Well, that's one of the things I was trying to explain to a friend of mine. I was, you know, whether or not this comes off as pretentious, I give less than a fuck about. It's just how I and a lot of other people feel. But I feel that like art, storytelling, songwriting, movie making, writing novels, etc., all of that. Okay. Yeah, there's some of it that's just pure fucking just eye candy and brain candy. Here, big explosions, looks cool, and there's some cool one-liners. Eat your popcorn, watch a movie, go home. That's fine. But there's other art that has more subtext to it that's deeper than that. And when I see people using art to push an agenda, that in and of itself doesn't offend me. It's when they like co-opt already established things, shoehorn all their fucking pet peeves and pet projects into it, chase off everyone who was there, who made it what it was, and then just start disrespecting the source material, disrespecting the artists, the creators, and everything about it, and just going, well, we're just going to make it our own thing now. That irritates me. And I was trying to explain this to a friend of mine, and he's going, that's stupid. Why are you upset over fictional characters? And I'm like, if you want to look at it that way, that's cool. But then I'd say this, then why are you upset at fictional characters when they say things that you don't agree with in movies to the point where you feel that they should be banned? I mean, they're fictional characters, right? Like, are we going back to the 90s, the battle of who could care less? Is that what it's turned into? Like, are you being ironic? I don't even know anymore, man. You know what I'm saying? Are we going back to that? But I mean, dude, it's like a musician. Look, I'm sure a lot of musicians and a lot of people think I'm dumb for feeling this way. But I died a little bit inside when I received a Jimi Hendrix merchandise catalog and there was a fucking toilet seat with his face on it. And I was like,
Damn.
and it was like $125. And I was like, for a fucking toilet seat.
Who
with
was
Jimi
that
Hendrix's
for?
face. I have no idea, dude.
I mean, you know, like
Who is a Kiss coffin for, dude? Someone who really, really loves Kiss and Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix is
Like,
like my favorite guitar player of all time. Like, I would never want a Hendrix toilet seat.
You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing.
Guys, I'm still shocked that the world peace hasn't happened since Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben are gone.
Is this a callback to an hour and a half ago when I said
right?
that already? But
No, you
anyways,
were just talking about it.
no,
You were like fictional characters. You're mad at fictional characters.
yeah, but the point was is that no. When I care about it, it's not stupid. When you care about it, it's stupid because I think it's stupid for you to care about it. But this person was like, well, when I care about it, it's not stupid, and it's not the same. Why? Why is it not the same? Because I don't want it to be.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
We talked about that last week, Rich.
Because I don't want it to be.
It's not my reality. That's why.
But I mean, dude, I know enough about Hendrix. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna shatter a bunch of people's preconceived notions. Jimi Hendrix, yeah, he embraced the hippie movement and the aesthetic and the peace, love, dope thing and all that shit. But he wasn't as fucking far left wing and politically woke as a lot of these people would like to think he was.
He's in the fucking army.
Yeah, he was airborne. He went to Vietnam, but he fucked his leg up on his last jump before he was supposed to be shipped off overseas.
And
okay,
before,
I mean,
oh, well, here comes the casual racism, everybody. And before I think he was one of the good ones, he was put in the army as an alternative to jail.
well, I mean, like everybody tries to rewrite the history of Jimi Hendrix, and it's like, no, Hendrix very much had a huge soft spot for people in the military. Had basically I don't know if anyone could say they really had a positive outlook on the Vietnam War, but wasn't like against it at all costs. Eventually, he got to the point where he was like, yeah, we need to get the fuck out of Vietnam because it's just a clusterfuck. Pretty much the whole country had decided that at that point. Okay, so he was pretty much right along with most of the fucking left-leaning people back in the day. And on top of that, he didn't want his music in commercials. He didn't want his face all over everything. He started shunning the spotlight before he died. He was supposed to go in and record with Herbie Hancock and Miles Davis.
Oh, man.
You think that album was going to end up a number one on the fucking Billboard Hot 100?
Maybe.
No. If it, I can't imagine.
At that time with Herbie Hancock, maybe.
Early 70s with those three and the backing band that I'm imagining Miles would put together.
Might have cracked the top 40. You're right. Might not have been number one, but it might have cracked the top 40. Maybe. I'm saying maybe.
But I mean, like, he was everything that most people who have a casual knowledge of an artist like Jimi Hendrix, everything that he's known for was the shit that he started going, oh, God, I don't want to smash my fucking guitar. I don't want to fucking kick over my amplifier.
Well, yeah,
I don't want to fucking play. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to fucking play,
like the experience.
Foxy Lady every night.
The Experience went out at the top of their game. Like, it seemed as soon as the Experience got to the pinnacle, he fucking blew it up and formed a band of gypsies.
Yeah, think about that, dude. The one live album that he oversaw from point A to release, Band of Gypsies, there's none of his fucking hits on that album. There's nothing from Are You Experienced, Axis Bold as Love, or Electric Ladyland on there.
Electric Ladyland.
Nothing. Yeah.
No,
does have Butthole Surfers.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there's nothing from any of those three albums on there, like whatsoever. That was all new material. That's ballsy as fuck, dude. Considering that he'd only put out 3 albums at that point, to put out a live album of nothing but all new material, with two musicians who aren't on his other 3 albums that weren't his backing band.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I died inside because I'm like, I know he wouldn't want his face on a fucking toilet seat. And here's like, but his sister, who was like an infant when he died, so she doesn't even remember meeting him. I think there's like one picture of him holding her. Has control of his estate, and they've decided they're going to cash in with the woke crowd. They're going to fucking cash in on baby boomer nostalgia and Gen X fucking wish we were there, and they're going to put Jimi Hendrix everything out. I mean, dude, there's a Digitech whammy pedal, and they no joke, not an April Fool's joke either, released an ad in guitar magazines and online that said, just like Hendrix played on the album.
Didn't he play a Vox?
Yes.
Dude, there were no Digitech pedals.
Yeah, but the bigger point is, whammy pedal was invented in like 1996.
It didn't exist. All it is a pedal with like 7 settings that are supposed to be signature tones of his, just like he played on the album. Now, I'm sure legally they can get out of it and be like, well, we didn't say he played the pedal on the album.
They're trying to say the tones. Yeah.
Yeah. But let's be honest, some 13, 14-year-old who sees that shit worships Jimi Hendrix. I mean, nowadays, you really have no excuse with the internet. I can type in Jimi Hendrix gear setup and see a detailed fucking pictures and everything, down to what fucking gauge strings he used.
Oh, right.
But you know, there's people out there that would buy it, and like the older people who started playing guitar and picked it up in like their late 30s, early 40s, know nothing about it. It's like their midlife crisis thing. So they go out and they buy this fucking $250 fucking pedal that's supposed to make them sound like Jimi Hendrix, and they sound like a brand new 38-year-old guitar player who doesn't know what he's doing. That's all. It's all they end up doing is wasting money. Like, that shit he wouldn't have been cool with, man. But there you go. Capitalism, baby. His family, hey,
Janie had to get paid.
We want some of that money. Well, since we're sitting here talking about art and shit and the nonsense that goes on surrounding it at times, down in Texas, surprise, surprise, there's a Republican Representative Matt Krause. And just when you thought the right wing were the party of free speech, here comes a fucking registered Republican with a list of 850 books he wants to ban in Texas school districts and in public libraries.
Neat.
Isn't it fucking great? Isn't it great that we're back to the fucking late 80s, early 90s?
Is it 1921 or 2021? What, do you have a list of the books?
Well, most of them are like sex ed, books to deal with gender issues and stuff like that. I went hunting for the article. I couldn't find it, so I'm just going to...
The novel version of Brokeback Mountain?
Whatever. Basically, it was a bunch of young... The majority of it is a bunch of books that are what they call YA books, young adult books. So, like, I'm guessing 13 to, like, 21 is the age group, maybe. Like the Hunger Games type books, aimed at that type of crowd. You know, the Twilight books, aimed at that type of crowd. Shit like that. These are books aimed at that demographic, covering subjects. But then some of these books also go back to, like, the 60s. Like, one was, like, this very 1960s looking, like, not The Joy of Sex with the hairy motherfuckers in there that we saw when we were kids. I'm talking about, like, 1960s color, everything, like, textbook about reproduction.
Speaking of Jimmy,
I'm trying to,
and I'm just like, that is fucking over 50 years ago, and you're just getting around to banning it now. What the fuck was in that book that was cool for it to sit there for over 50 years? That's what I want to know. Like, if it's so evil, what did it take you so long to find this book for?
Yeah, no bullshit. After Dr. Seuss got banned, 7 fucking books, I was like, oh yeah, we're done. We're in trouble. Mayday, Mayday.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there was a time where people would stand up and go, "Oh, this is bullshit." Even if they didn't agree with the book or the fucking art or the movie or what the television show, they'd stand up and defend it. Now it's like, who's the star on that show? What way do they lean politically? Oh, they lean to the right? Okay, well, then we need to take that show off the air. It's like, what? Does nobody have any principles anymore? They just sell them out for political ideology?
In the istophobe society we live in? No, because you stand up and you'd say, oh, this is bullshit. Don't burn these books. They're over 50 years old, for Christ's sake. There's a ist coming your way, or a bunch of them, depending on the book.
Well, what I just love is that the Republicans have been fighting against cancel culture and this for over a decade now. And the average person has gotten real tired of these fucking divisive identity politics being shoehorned and shoved in their face constantly when there's no fucking need for it. And here we go. The Republicans start getting some fucking power and actually gaining traction in a state like Texas, and they start feeling their oats. And what do? They get right back up to their bullshit that they were. Basically, the evangelical Christians lost their power base in the Republican Party over shit like this. And here they go. They're starting to back up again. So this is why it's like, I'm supposed to vote for what? Both parties are cool with fucking violating people's human rights, violating the Bill of Rights in this country. It's just, does the rhetoric that they want banned is the rhetoric that they don't like.
Yeah, I found a list of the books. Yeah, these guys definitely got an agenda. Well, because it's definitely stuff, a lot of gender issues, a lot of race stuff. So yeah, for sure, this guy has definitely got his Newsmax hat on, and he is just anything that disagrees with what he's saying, he wants banned.
And by the way, he's a candidate for Attorney General for next year in the state. So there you go. I'm sure this is why he's trying to make his bones. I'm sure this is the issue that he thinks is going to propel him into the average Texan's fucking consciousness.
And like that's the thing, like. You know, we sit here every week and we bitch about a lot of this stuff, but, at the risk of sounding like the old cliche, like, we like the fact that people are allowed to say this stuff, right? We like the fact that we can come on here every week and be three old guys yelling at clouds, but that there's clouds to yell at, all right? There's probably a lot of stuff in a lot of these books I'd be like, that's fucking crazy. I don't agree with that. But you know what? People are allowed to fucking express that opinion.
Dude, I'm trying to think of any example of me or you in all the years we've been doing these podcasts, either agreeing or even separately going, no, that person or that book or that work of fiction needs to be completely 100% censored.
No.
Because we don't agree with it. Like, I can't think, I honestly, if I'm forgetting one, please, someone. Fucking email us, hit us up on one of the social media sites. Be like, no, there was this one.
Trust me,
judging
by a lot of these titles,
I'll own up to it.
There's a lot of batshit crazery in these books, judging by some of these titles. But you know what? Like, I am of the mind that you're an adult. You are a human adult, and you can look at something and you can take in information and go, that's for me or that's not for me. Autonomy, folks.
We're all around the age where we should remember this. Remember Ice-T's metal band Body Count with their first album that had the song Cop Killer on it?
Oh yeah. That was contraband. I was in like middle school. Oh man, and Catholic school. Oh, I might as well have just got caught with crack.
Okay. The best quote about that entire situation came because that was around 91, 92 when that album was released. Now, I've always been a fan of Ice-T since I was a little kid, and on his rap albums, he had always had at least like one song with a metal band, a rock band. So I knew that the album was coming out, and when it came out, I picked it up. And for the most part, I was like, it's a good metal album for Ice-T's metal band. It's a
metal band as a whole. No, thank you. Yeah,
it's lower tier metal as just a metal band. Like, just to be honest with you, especially that first album. Now they've gotten better because they're still around, and they've gotten better. And because all musicians on a long enough timeline usually get at least a little bit better. But Joe Satriani in like 95 was like, you know what pissed me off and offended me about that album the most is that the politicians trying to ban it were responsible for it selling 90% of what it sold. It was a shit album. He was like, that album shouldn't have sold. It shouldn't have went 10. It shouldn't have went aluminum. And I was like, as much as I like Ice-T, as much as like there's a few songs on there that I'm like, they're all right. I'm like, yeah, he's got a point. He really does.
Hey, listen,
he really does.
It sounds like a bad punk song.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is what people don't understand. And I don't care what political side you're on. If you try to force something out of someone's hand, even if they didn't want it, if they didn't know it existed, you just created a need. You created a market for it. You are actually sowing the seeds of your own crusade's destruction, because it's human nature to go, what don't you want me to see? That's what I need to see. And I'll tell you, one of the quotes that I heard when I was a little kid has stuck with me all my life. It was during the banned book week that they have every year. I think it started in the Virginia schools. And Stephen King got up and addressed the crowd. And it was basically like, let me tell you something. Anybody in a school, they take a book out of your fucking library. When you get out of school, run. Don't walk to the nearest public library or bookstore and buy that book or check that book out and read it, because that's not what you want to know. That's what you need to know. And I'm like, boom, that's it right there, man. That's it right there. So ultimately, all you're doing is showing your true colors. You're either okay with banning shit that you disagree with on a moral level, which there's no legal fucking right for you to do that, or you're such a fucking spineless piece of shit. You're like a weed in the wind blowing around, flopping around, and you think that you can just cruise on up to the top of the fucking power pyramid on this bullshit fucking Swift boat. That's it. I mean, what else could there be? Why would a politician in today's day and age fucking get behind something like this? And that's just
votes.
That's what I'm saying. If it's a cynical attempt at votes and getting power, then these people are willing to sell out the same ideals they're selling you that they're there to fight for.
Yeah,
they're proving to you that they. So why are you voting for them?
I cite no further back than last November. Or no, wait, that would be 2 Novembers. November 2020, the whole Supreme Court thing, when everybody switched sides. Literally from 4 years prior, and nobody said shit about shit. Yes, that is exactly what they do. I was just one of those people in everyone was all surprised, and people on the left were indignant. Oh, fuck Mitch McConnell and this and that, and Mitch McConnell saying the same shit that the other. I'm saying this. I feel like I've said this 1,000 times on the show. Color me not surprised.
I'm with you.
I just think, and I think I said this in the pre-show chat. I think that's a guy. That's Texas going to Texas. That's him saying that's probably what the people in his district want to hear, and that's probably what he thinks that the people in the state of Texas want to hear.
Well,
it's funny. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, I'm to the point where I'm asking the question, okay, voting hasn't done anything. What's next? Because if it's just throw your hands up and quit and let the chips fall where they may, I'm going to tell you right now, there's no one who's listening to this podcast, and there's no one on this podcast, the chips are going to fall favorably for you. It's just not. If you're lucky, you won't run out of money before you die. And that's the best you can hope for. You might be eating dented dog food or dog food out of dented cans the last couple of years of your life.
Yeah, this goes all the way back to what Chris and I were talking about. I came up with a different idea other than rebellion. Sit at home, shut it down, make them change.
But could you say you've come up with another idea if it's not plausible?
But it is plausible. We've done it,
but it's
because
not.
We were forced to.
Exactly. The only way your fantasy happens is if we're forced to do it.
But here's my point, Chris. How quick did the federal government give us money? Never in our history did they give us this much money.
Because it was in their own self-interest.
You're gosh darn right.
Because if the economy collapses, they lose a bunch of money.
You're absolutely right. So if everybody who's sick of this
How are you not hearing me? It's all connected to money. You think you're misdiagnosing the problem.
Hold on. First of all, is the premise you're going with, Earl, that if everybody just didn't go to work and the money flow just fucking stopped, these people would panic and give in to people's demands?
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is my premise.
So
is,
hold on.
Wait a second. Let me label it for you. The United States Congress, the people we put in office, have to keep us at each other's throats so we don't see what they're doing. Okay. Now, if we take the blueprint of the COVID and sit home and stop the money flow and make them close every loophole where they get to sell the votes that we put them in there to cast.
How does us sitting at home make them close the loopholes?
Because it stops the money flow.
You would think us sitting at home enables them to be up to more fuckery because we're all sitting at home.
We're sitting at home and it stops the money. They don't care.
But it didn't stop the money. Amazon.
You're right, because they gave it to us because they printed it. They just printed it, bro. At the end of the day, you could say whatever you want. They told this, they did that. They printed money. And they gave it electronically, whatever. And was like, here, please go spend. Don't let this collapse. We can't afford for it to collapse.
Okay, to me, I'm sorry. This is the most asinine argument we've ever had on this show. And that's fucking saying something. Dude, there are so many things and steps that we get to before we even worry about the reaction to the great work walkout week that we're talking about. Dude, I don't give a fuck if the seventh seal opened and the end times were upon us. There would be motherfuckers waking up at 3:30 in the morning to drive from Howell to their fucking factory job in Detroit.
Agreed.
Okay. Because that's all they fucking have, dude. That's it. And as long as there are even 1% of the population doing that, that's enough for those people at the top to work and go, we got leverage.
Right. Agreed.
Convince 2-3 more people to come into work.
Right. But I'm 100% with you, and you're saying what Chris said. I mean, you're defining it. It's impossible. It's a radical theory. You know, it's a dream world where he has a 12-inch cock and a $3 billion bank account. Yeah. But that is a hell of a lot more probable than to get that guy out of bed and up to D.C. to overthrow the government. I mean, we're making progress. If anything else, we're coming up with different solutions at this point. The main goal for every American, even the guy who has that only job, should be to close the loopholes in D.C. because you can't do anything by voting.
Somebody with 3 kids is going to tell you, fuck that, I got 3 kids to feed.
I understand that, man, but it's coming to a point now, Chris, where the person with 3 kids to feed, it can't feed those kids.
But they're going to be worried. They're going to be focused on feeding the 3 kids. They're not going to give a fuck about closing the loophole in Washington.
What happens when you can't?
Closing the loophole in Washington fucking doesn't put food on the table tonight.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Amazon is changing the way we think about TVs. Say hello to the Amazon Fire TV Omni Series, a new 4K ultra-high definition smart TV with Dolby Vision and hands-free Alexa. This is Amazon's first hands-free TV with all your favorite Fire TV and Alexa features now in one TV. You can stream all of your favorite content, shows, music, and more. The Amazon Fire TV Omni Series is available in a variety of sizes and competitive prices in store at Best Buy or at Amazon.com.
Give joy, give sport this season with Adidas for everyone on your list. Whether you're shopping for runners, sneakerheads, or treating yourself, Adidas stores have all your holiday shopping covered. Bundle up with loungewear for the whole family. Boost some energy into the season with Ultra Boost and NMD footwear. Or get into the spirit with matching tracksuits. Visit your local Adidas store or adidas.com to wrap your holiday season in 3 stripes.
Is your career taking you where you want to go? With Saia LTL Freight's best-in-class benefits, signing bonuses, and competitive pay, it's easy to see why we have the longest tenure in the industry. So whether it's cross-country travel, being home nights and weekends, or working from the terminal, we've got a career for you. Drive your future forward. Visit workatsaia.com. That's workatsaia.com.
Amazon is changing the way we think about TVs. Say hello to the Amazon Fire TV Omni Series, a new 4K ultra-high definition smart TV with Dolby Vision and hands-free Alexa. This is Amazon's first hands-free TV with all your favorite Fire TV and Alexa features now in one TV. You can stream all of your favorite content, shows, music, and more. The Amazon Fire TV Omni Series is available in a variety of sizes and competitive prices in store at Best Buy or at Amazon.com.
Do you love what you do? Work at Saia LTL Freight and you will. We've been the most elite team in shipping for 95 years and counting by caring for our people like family. So whether you're on the docks or in the driver's seat, when you put on our uniform, you're joining a first-class tradition of excellence. Start your new journey with us today. Visit workatsaia.com now. That's workatsaia.com.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
You know what happens when you can't, Earl? You know what happens? Because here, you want the answer? I'm gonna tell you the fucking answer. People are gonna turn to fucking crime, okay? And we live in this fucking society where most of our prisons are privatized, for-profit prisons, and there is a movement in society right now to let low-level, nonviolent drug offenders out of prisons and out of the system. So just starve the people until they commit crimes, and then just house them in prison with. Have you ever heard a prison go, sorry,
we're full.
You can't come. Yeah, you can't come in. They'll build another one.
No room in the inn. Yeah.
Like, take your ass out west and go to some of them fucking state prisons out there and look at the tent cities they have. Literally conditions like motherfuckers in war zones live in. They're for temporary housing until they can build more prisons. Right? This country is a business. Do yourself a favor. If you haven't seen this movie, watch it. It's called Killing Him Softly. And the only reason I say to watch this movie, it's a great movie, a lot of stars in it you'd recognize. But at the end, Brad Pitt basically sums up America in a little fucking monologue he gives. America's a business. And no politician is going to tell me that, we're one big village and we're connected. Fuck that. Somebody's paying him. Fuck you, pay me. And that's how this country works. And if that's
100,
okay, that's what's going to happen, dude. There's going to be no revolution. The revolution will not be televised. It will not be broadcast. It won't be on anything. All right. Honestly, what I think will happen, there will continue to be globalization. There will be a leveling off of standard of living. So we're going to be one of the countries, our standard of living will drop. Other countries' standard of living will raise up. And that's going to be just pretty much across the board. Everybody's going to have pretty much the same standard of living. What did I tell you a couple months ago? I said, watch, man. If you live to be 80 like you say you always want to, right? When you're 79 before you turn 80, I guarantee you that there'll be fucking bug protein patties for sale at the fucking grocery store. And the reason I bring this up is because we've already seen the push, the prices of meat, the prices of eggs, everything is proteins going through the roof. Now NPR, they've been pushing these fucking stories, Impossible Meat, this and this, this and this. They've been doing that for years already. Now I'm starting to see stories left and right from all the fucking usual suspects on the left and the woke media groups start talking about, well, how wasteful is it to raise animals simply to slaughter them and eat them? We can eat bugs and roasted crickets taste wonderful and great and blah, 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 blah. That's going to be the next shit they're going to push, man. Why?
That's salt.
Dude, it's cheaper. It's cheaper. And when everybody's standard of living is fucking homogenized across the board. That's what kills me about these people on the left who are like, I want to be an individual, but I want to be an individual part of a major group. Yeah, okay, well, you know what? Bob Seger wrote a song about you. It's called Beautiful Loser. You want your cake and you want to eat it too. It's not how this is going to work. Your collectivism means we're all equally worthless in the eyes of the fucking people who hold power. And the best way to handle it is what is going to cost us the least. How can we keep this machine moving? How can we still keep making a profit off these people? Et cetera, et cetera. And by the way, if it does happen, I'll be dead and gone, so I won't know. But if it does happen in your lifetime, where like bugs and shit like that, like as a meat substitute is normalized, as much as I hate that term, normalized in your lifetime, try to get a good look at when the fucking politicians eat and see if they're eating the bug meat. Because I guarantee you they got a fucking Kobe beef steak on their fucking plate.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you right now, not our current president, well, Trump aside, do you think anyone who works in Washington is eating Taco Bell lately?
No.
That's the shit that the people who work for them eat.
Yeah. But we're always talking about how to get it right, how to make it right. I mean, there's a couple options. None of it's ever going to happen. You guys are completely right. Any other solution we come up with will never, ever happen. 100. And I said this so many times. I've said it here. I've said it to friends and family. The government is a business, and it is a top-running, well-lubricated. They've gotten so fucking good at it. So fucking good. It never surprises me anymore, the shit they come up with.
Have they, though? They're meeting right now to avoid another shutdown.
You know what, dude?
It's that time of year.
I don't even care anymore about government shutdowns because every time one comes up, the usual fucking pearl clutching and damseling and falling all over yourself happens from the usual suspects. And it's even NPR, you know, the propaganda wing of the Democratic Party, you know, has basically just flat out had to come out and admit, like, yeah, this pretty much happens every 3 to 4 years at this point.
Yeah, They just don't. They don't surprise me at all. I mean, their biggest move right now that they got going for them, that they're going to hang on to, that is not going anywhere, is Black Lives Matter and white privilege. They're going to hang on to that for years.
Well, because it's a guaranteed agitation tactic.
Right.
It is something that you tell one group of people that, okay, racist, dude, I swear to God, I don't know how more people don't remember this. 2015, 2016, even parts of 2017, NPR, the woke left media, whatever you want to call them. Okay, I'm talking people like the Young Turks and shit like that. They were pushing that race is a social construct. There's no such thing as race. And then Black Lives Matter took off like number one with a bullet. And what happened? They fucking switched. They switched narrative mid fucking stream on us. Everything's race now. And, you know, black people can't help that they're black. But white people, yeah, you're just born racist. That's just how you are.
Chris, you want a tinfoil hat theory real quick? You want to know where Black Lives Matter and white privilege came about? Do you want to know why? The government did it, okay, just so you're aware, because everybody was getting way too close to them. Do you remember the movement called Occupy Wall Street?
Yeah.
Okay. We started fucking with them and getting very close
that movement
to fucking shit with their money.
That movement didn't do dick.
We were getting close, though. We were getting close to fucking with them and their money. And
How?
The next thing you know...
By setting up tents.
Well, then you know what, then, dude? Okay, fuck it. So, Chris, you get the fucking ski mask. Earl, we're going to use your car as the getaway car. I'll call some of the crazies I know who have fucking stockpiles of weapons. And we're just going to go get paid. Because nothing fucking matters.
It really
Every movement's garbage. Every movement's bullshit. There's no fucking hope. Then let's just go kill and rampage and just take what we want. We might as well, man. We might as fucking well.
I feel like saying this on a podcast kind of... I feel like we're going to get caught.
Dude, I mean, like with the attitude of, oh, that didn't do shit.
Well, it didn't. What reform came out of Occupy?
What reform came out of Occupy? I don't know. How much effort was put into by the United States government and their fucking policing agencies to infiltrate and fucking split up and divide the Occupy movement. They didn't even get a fucking chance to see what they could do before the government would step in and was like, no, we're good. And by the way, that's by their own fucking admission. They just come out with a report saying that paid government informants, they paid out $29 million to, or is it 29? No, excuse me. It's not 29, but it's millions of dollars to paid government informants who have committed since 2018 something like 22,000 felonies while on the government payroll for the FBI. And we're talking about like paid government informants who go up to groups of people on the internet and they're like, do y'all want to bomb the government? And they're like, nah, we got yearbook after school, man. Oh, but come on, man. Blah, 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 blah,
Hello,
blah,
fellow
blah.
kids.
Exactly. And the FBI admits this shit. I mean, here's the thing. It's across the board. You know the beauty of white people not having white privilege in the eyes of the FBI is that they'll frame you just as quick as they'll frame anybody else now. Did you really think that I really want to sit down a BLM supporter who thinks that like they're going to have just your average BLM supporter, not someone involved in the day-to-day fucking runnings of the thing. Just someone who's got to be it, BLM fucking yard sign and a bumper sticker and, gets in arguments on the internet, and all that shit. Well, and I just want to go, what has BLM done for you? Has anything changed? No. Is your life different? Are you in more of a position of power? No. Now all the government did was go, oh, so y'all want to declare yourselves equally worthless? Good. We can exploit everybody to our fucking advantage. Thank you. You did the work for us.
The Occupy Wall Street movement started in 2011, okay? And it wasn't just Occupy Wall Street. They were occupying many, many different things across the country.
And it lasted for like 2 weeks, I remember. Yeah,
but before that, we were just coming up in it. Enough is enough. Fuck this place, man. Let's do this. And when it hit Wall Street and everything, people went, oh shit. In 2013, BLM started. Okay, dude, so it's a way for them. It's a way for them to get us focused back on each other and away from them. Because once Black Lives Matter started, and the coin term of white privilege and all of this shit started, everybody totally forgot about Occupy anything. Yeah, but Earl, and everybody, all the fights turned into, why are you shooting unarmed black men? Why aren't you pulling over the white guy who's drag racing? It's so much that they did. And the only reason I state all of this is I'm trying to end the point that Rich made. Government is a machine, and it's so well oiled. They come up with shit out of. I'm like, how the fuck did that? Okay, well, and now I'm not even surprised anymore because they're so good at it, so good at it. Everybody's so upset about racism and slavery. They banned the Confederate flag. Motherfucker, slavery never changed. It is now the prison system. It's just colorblind. It doesn't matter if you're white or black.
Dude, Todd was fucking around with the Occupy fucking crew for a little bit. And I can't remember if he said it on the air or if it was just talking to us, but he said he saw a distinct change, like almost overnight. It went from the focus on, okay, these corporations fucking basically strip mining natural resources, human resources, taking every penny they can, leaving everybody in fucking ruins and moving on to the next town, to, okay, well, why is this straight white man speaking at this event? Get him out of here. Okay, now we need this, and we need this, and we need these. This needs representation, and this needs representation. And I remember asking him, I'm like, let me ask you a question. How much do you think was that government fucking agitators going in to basically cause dissonance and shit? He's like, to a certain extent. The rest of it was just people's bullshit egos, people power tripping, human nature, in other words.
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
Like no further than Chop, right?
I mean, and hey, I don't agree with any of them idiots that did all that shit. But I'll tell you what, they did a lot fucking more than what happened on January 6th. But it don't get reported that way, does it? I mean, and it's just like, there you go. I mean, both of them, the status quo was like, oh, this is unacceptable. But like I said, tear up your own backyard. Government really doesn't care that much. Tear up the government's backyard. They're going to fuck you up. And here's the bitch of it. All that shit, according to everything that's written, and that all belongs to the people of this country. So if we want to tear up our own shit, right? It's our shit, right? I mean, go outside and put a rock through your own fucking front window. Even if there's a cop standing there, he can't do anything to you for it. It's your house. So, I mean, there it is. I mean, it just plain as day. These are the rules. I'm not making these rules up. Our generation didn't come up and change these rules. These are rules that have been there. And these are rules that are quoted to us constantly. Well, if you can quote the rules, then they should be able to fucking follow them. But they don't. Why? Because we've given over too much power to government because we're comfortable, dude. We're comfortable. As bad as it gets, I still have NFL TV. I still have fucking... I can still go get a $2.39 McDouble. I might have to wait in line for half an hour, but I can still get it. And it's still better than drinking piss and shit water in some fucking sub-Saharan African country. By the way, where slavery isn't a remote fucking memory generations ago, it's still being practiced to this day. Like that type of country. I mean, I don't know.
It's conflicting living here, isn't it?
Because we're so fucking conditioned to not deal with reality and to see things the way we've been told to see them. And some of it is, yes, we've been conditioned by a government who, through public schooling, et cetera, societal pressure, this and this, you can't say this, you can't say this. It's not really illegal, but you'll be ostracized, and blah, 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 and this and this and this and this. We can't even say the truth anymore,
dude.
And the truth is, you can look at something and go, you can look at a tree, and a tree can have a straight fucking part. Perfectly straight part to it that leads to a part that's not straight. It could be straight and crooked at the same time. But we can't see that in our society because it's got to be left or right, one or two, black or white. That's it. That's all. And it's like, can we evolve past that thinking? And by the way, I'm not saying us as a species. I'm talking about us on this fucking show. Like, because when we get into these arguments, it's like, well, the point is, well, there's more than one fucking point. And let's stop acting like we're retarded and we can only have conversations and only hold one idea in our head at one time. I mean, there are more layers to this. There are more layers to this shit than just the fucking one that's obvious. And I mean, if people don't want to fucking contemplate this shit and ponder this shit and look at this shit and analyze it, then go watch The Voice. Go watch America's Got Talent. No one's fucking stopping you, all right?
Rich, AGT is a summer show.
Yeah,
well. Shows you how much I want. Well, I mean, I haven't had fucking cable since 2013, so
guys,
starting the show.
And I'm with that. And Chris,
no, it's poor, not ooh.
Following up all of that,
I don't have cable.
Chris, do you remember the GameStop issue?
Oh yeah, from earlier this year.
Short and stocks and all
that. Yeah.
Well, which issue? It was
with the stocks.
Yeah. Which issue? There were several
where people were buying the stock for GameStop and driving up the price.
Yes, the short squeeze.
Okay, so again, fucking with their money, right? And
okay, no, this was a Robinhood issue. This wasn't a GameStop issue. What you're about to bring up, it wasn't. It was only one platform. And they had to make sure they had all the money to cover all the money that they had just lent out in case they lost it all. That wasn't what that was. That was people kind of like running with the thing, like, oh, they're turning off the freedom. Oh, no, that was that again was a math problem. People like just it was just like a fundamental understanding of how the shit worked.
Whoa, wait, no, we're talking about two different issues. I'm talking about the fact that the hedge funds were shortening up their stocks. They were going to let GameStop collapse, and the hedge funds were set to make a nice chunk of money when it happened.
Well, if you've checked, they still have.
But yeah, people started banding together and driving up the price of GameStop to fuck the hedge fund.
Yeah, well, the hedge fund still made all their money. It became a
because
long play. They had to wait it out.
Because TD Ameritrade and Robinhood stopped and banned the trading of the stocks. And said it was best for the mitigating circumstances is what they put out.
I just explained why they did it.
I got it. What I'm saying is they fucked with their money.
They resumed trading like hours later. That's the part of the story everyone always leaves out. They're like, oh, they cut it off. And they resumed it hours later once they had enough cash to cover all the investments that were being made.
I got it. But they were going to fuck the hedge funds. So in that time, the hedge fund was able to make all their money. Anyways.
No, the hedge funds still got fucked because the squeeze still happened. But the thing is over time, everybody got bored and sold all their money, and the hedge funds eventually made their money because it was designed to be a short-term play, but essentially got turned into a long-term play. The bottom still fell out of GameStop eventually this year. Like
exactly.
If you look at where it's at.
Now my point is this. Just like you just did, they swept it real quick under the rug. You didn't hear anything else about GameStop. And they did it by the mass power outages that happened in Texas.
Whoa, wait. Okay. Are we just in a tinfoil suit now?
Okay, hold on. Before I sit here and listen to 10 minutes of nonsense, I know exactly what he's trying to say. And I dude, your dick is you have a tip drip. Your dick is so fucking hard because you're ready to just fuck him over with his ignorance. But he's not trying to say what you think he's trying to say. But go ahead, because I want to see how this plays out. Because I'm almost ready to pop popcorn. Go ahead, you two.
No, it goes back to what I was saying, and what Rich's point was that the government is a machine. They're so good at getting us sheep to look the other way that you don't even realize you're looking the other way anymore.
Okay, Earl, I'm going to explain the mind of Chris to you for about 30 seconds, so please be quiet, okay? Bear with me. You said they basically hid the story with the power outages in Texas. This is what Chris heard. The power outages in Texas were staged to draw attention away from the stock market issue. That's what he heard.
Oh, no. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that the government caused the power outage in Texas.
Okay, now hold on and watch this, folks. I'm about to do a magic trick. Did you mean that they reported the power outages like it was gangbusters and going out of business, and they buried the fucking stock story on the back page?
Yes.
Gee. Okay, I got my popcorn. Go ahead and argue now.
I disagree with that. That was a weather event. I mean,
okay,
I also don't think that shit was buried. That shit was everywhere for a while.
Okay, but at least you two now can disagree about something instead of disagreeing about two separate subjects.
Right.
Because that is what takes up 90% of the guys' argument. But go ahead.
You're right. That was a weather event, but they, like Rich helped me clarify, it was reported on so huge, like it was the end of fucking Texas. It wasn't. It was just a power outage. They need more power. Woo! Michigan people know this story all too well. It happens. But they also started with the Trump impeachment trial right after. It happened in February of 2021. And then they reported on every single thing else other than GameStop. I didn't know if GameStop until today, until you said
because
something.
People got bored and started selling their shares, so stop being a news story.
Right, because they didn't want anybody else who's got it enough to band together and mess with any more hedge fund monies.
But that's speculation on your part.
I don't believe in coincidences.
Well, I can tell you this right now. You go on Reddit. I cannot remember the name of the subreddit. We talked about it.
Wall Street Beats.
But is that it?
Yeah.
Is that the name of the subreddit? Yeah. It's just a bunch of motherfucking guys, like a bunch of cowboys playing really high risk, high reward games with the stock market like that. This shit happens all the time, just usually not on this large of a scale as the GameStop situation was. And on top of that, something that a lot of people, unless you are really entrenched in the gaming culture and the culture surrounding gaming, GameStop's a very hated fucking company in the gaming industry.
That's so true.
So people were like, good, fuck GameStop, because they've been fucking us for goddamn decades. So, I mean, it's like, there's really not a whole lot of people to root for in this story. And once again, narratives were fucking drawn up almost immediately. Sides were fucking divvied up, and you were told where to report. And like dutiful little fucking idiots, most people reported to the side they were told to report. And that's they let the narrative craft how they feel about the situation, instead of going, "Who the fuck what story you're trying to tell me? I know what the fuck I'm witnessing. That's what I know." But no, Earl, you're right. And Chris, you know this well enough, dude. Just because they report it once, they can underreport shit. They can bury a fucking story, and they can go, well, oh, they covered it one time. Here, look, I looked it up on Google, and on page 19 of search results, I found that one time that somebody covered it. So there was a news story that was covered. Okay, then I guess that's internet flexing your fucking dick clout. But let's be real. If you're digging that much for fucking stories, when you're talking about they're not reporting it, it's not being pushed, it's not on the front page of every fucking news app or website. Is it on the front page? No. Where is it at? Oh, it's buried in the website?
No,
Come on, man.
No, but the stuff in Texas, there was death. If it bleeds, it leads, man. People were dying. We're done here. No one's dying on Wall Street. Next.
Well, the Texas shit was crazy also because motherfuckers started getting $1,500 electric bills.
Yeah.
Because of the way they're fucking, the entire system down there is structured, because that system was not designed to handle what happened. And they're the way the entire system from the production, distribution to payment is not made to take that type of hit. And you see what happens when the routine, for lack of a better term, gets disrupted. It's the domino effect. One domino falls into another, and then all hell breaks loose. I mean, I have friends and family down in Texas. I was talking to them. I know what the fuck was going on. They were like, shit was insane. But yeah, I do agree with you, Earl. When they've milked every last fucking outrage click, every last penny out of advertisers they can from a story, they move on to the one they think is going to put more butts in the seat, more clicks on the fucking website. There's no, I think we can all agree on this. There's hardly any journalist anymore. No one's trying to find the truth. They're just trying to chase the next big story so they can get a big payday.
On that thought, totally different topic. On that thought, how the fuck did Brian Laundrie die? Do you guys know?
He killed himself. It's like,
because I heard he was found in Florida, but
that's from like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I hadn't followed it enough to know how he died. I just knew he got found.
This is one of your, I'm gonna pull this out of my ass at the end of the fucking shows and see if it sticks. That shitty butt baby of yours didn't stick. I didn't even know who the fuck you were talking about until you guys started talking about where he found himself. I thought you were going to take the pivot to the, well, no, because both y'all were fired up and ready to dock with each other over the Cuomo fucking story. So I figured talking about politics and press and this and that, boom. Cuomo story is fucking, that'd have been a perfect pivot right there.
We've had
just
like
saying.
2 spots we could have went into Cuomo, actually.
I am so fucking happy he got fired. I'm so happy he got fired.
Excuse me, suspended indefinitely?
Fired.
Right. Yeah, it's suspended indefinitely while they figure out the terms of his severance package.
Mm-hmm.
Not just, he's a self-righteous dick. You know?
I'm more on the humanitarian side of, man, fuck you. All right, you put those fucking people in the housing development to die like that.
No, that's
and help cover your brother, and no, fuck you,
dude. He did the same thing that Whitmer did. He started fucking loading up the the old folks' homes and the rehab places and locking people in there. And then he wrote a book about how wonderful he was handling COVID. Like, he started that book like a week and a half into the COVID situation.
When I heard his staff wrote that book.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean,
Right.
dude, it's like, do you think he wrote out any speech he's ever given since high school? No. I mean, dude, come on now. But
but you know what? I think more it's for me with Chris Cuomo. It's a little bit of Schadenfreude for CNN, the organization as well. Just like the last 5 years, they've been like just fucking parading themselves as like the last bastion of true journalism. And it's just showing their fucking ass for what they really are. You're just Ted Turner's fucking propaganda profit machine.
The right, anytime anybody does anything sexual related or any just accusations, whether they're outlandish or completely true, does not matter. They're all over it. All fucking over it. They do not stop. And with Cuomo, it disappeared.
Oh, for
the
sure.
allegations, the
hey man,
nursing home, all
Jeffrey
of it.
Toobin
gone.
still works there. They did not fire Jeffrey Toobin, the guy who was beating it on Zoom a year ago. He still works there. But if you're on the wrong side of CNN's politics, fuck yeah, all day, every day, they're talking about you. How many fucking hours did we have to hear about that orange cocksucker? But when it's one of their own. Do you know Don Lemon has a sexual fucking harassment lawsuit pending against him? No, you don't, because it's been kept pretty quiet. But he stuck his hands in his pants at a fucking bar in Long Island and fucking wiped it across a dude's face. Asked him if he liked pussy or dick. This actually, you could everything I just said. You could. I am not making any of that up.
I'm gonna tell you what. That's a ballsy fucking move. Because, bro, you better be. I don't care if you're fucking Andre the Giant size. You go up and get some Famunda cheese and rub it up under my nose. Somebody you like pussy or dick. You know what? If he's huge, he'll kick your ass. Well, that's an ass whooping I'm gonna have to take because I'm gonna do my best to kill that big motherfucker. Are you kidding me, dude? The fucking level of fucking disrespect, bro. Because any of us do that to a woman, we're getting raped and our throat cut and probably set on fire before we bleed out in prison. Yet this asshole does it and he gets buried because why? Most people in the media are fucking far left leaning, so they'll cover for their own. This is the shit that makes me sick, man. And remember when the Me Too shit started and the Al Franken shit started? What'd I say? That's their one. That's their sacrificial lamb. Man. That's who the left's throwing out there and going, okay, you got to die for everybody on the left's sins. You're the sacrificial lamb.
Well, yeah, but I mean, when Trump was running and you got to grab him by the pussy, they don't care. They were, oh my God, dude, they roasted that motherfucker for that.
Yeah, we get it, dude. We know. We did a show and like most everybody on the show except for one person was like, we all know that guy. We all know that dude who talks about pussy and how much pussy he gets and how easy the pussy is to get for him and how big his dick is and blah, 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 fucking blah.
Right,
most
but
boring
Cuomo,
man in the fucking universe.
Yeah, Cuomo actually went to grab the pussy. And we're not talking about that. We don't. It's fine. Everything's fine.
We have president who smells the pussy. They don't seem to have a problem with that.
Oh, he's got a brother. He's got a brother at CNN. All right. And apparently, they're not on that, disown your fucking family members the minute they do one thing you disagree with train in the Cuomo family. Because, like his brother fucking, the stories I'm hearing, the brother at CNN was moving mountains and hell and earth trying to keep his fucking brother fucking safe. Calling in favors like, hey, don't talk to these people if they come to talk to you. Don't tell them anything. That type shit.
Wow.
And it's like, if that's what the fuck was going on, first of all, don't be shocked. And second of all, they're brothers. At least there's a familial reason that they did what they did. There's people in the media who simp for these fucking politicians and they're not even related to them. They're just doing it because they think they're fucking helping the greater good. And all they are is useful idiots they're just useful idiots being used. Here's a moron that'll talk for me and deflect shit for me and basically run interference for me. Yeah, go out there. Go, boy. Go boy. Go. That's all it is. I mean, dude, look at this shit. You brought it up. And this is something that I find amazing. What happened to all the fucking, all these people that are going to go to prison, including Trump, for 4 years or whatever the fuck it was, 3 years, Steele dossier, blah, 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 this and this and this and this and this and this. And then on the back, once again, I got to go to fucking non-mainstream news sources to hear that more people in Hillary's campaign have been fucking charged than anybody in the Trump campaign.
I mean, don't you remember there was gonna be police waiting for him when he left the White House and this and that, and he was gonna try to hide in Russia and I remember telling you guys he's the president, and before he was president he was rich. He will never fucking do a fucking day in jail. He'll pay.
Well, here's the other side is he's also president. Okay, that's all he needs to be. He doesn't need to be rich. Because he has the power to do a pocket veto. Just put it in his pocket.
Well, that was when he was president. I'm just saying in general. Even when he's back to citizen, now that he's citizen Trump. Have you heard about anything? At most, he's been brought into court a couple times to talk about something, and then he's left. He's still out there being Trump.
Well, yeah, but they're also trying to try him back in New York for a whole bunch of shit.
Look, okay. All right, let's just get down to brass tacks. Is anybody here shocked that fucking the media will fucking cover up and shill for someone they agree with politically?
No.
Nope.
And why the fuck is anyone listening to the media? Because you know what? More people feel like us than don't. Yeah. So why are we still listening to the media?
I don't really anymore. I glean the information I need, and pretty much, it's just at this point, it's all punditry to me. I'm just trying to get the facts out of it.
I'm going to be 100 with you guys. I used to watch all the media, and then you guys started making fun of me about fear porn, this and that, and I'm like, no, dude, do you not see what's going on? And then I kind of watched based on your guys' commentary, and I'm like, wait a minute, man, fuck you. And then turned the channel to the other one, and I was like, oh, son of a bitch, it's just the opposite of fuck you. Now I just watch the local news and see, what the fucking weather's going to be.
It's Fox News has been fascinating to watch in the last year because it went from everything is great, everything is wonderful to, it's all going to hell in a handbasket. Why? Because the guy at the top switched ties. And CNN went the exact opposite. Oh, it's all going to hell in a handbasket. Everything is wonderful, everything is great. Why? Because the guy at the top switched ties. It's fucking predictable, and it used to be hilarious. Now it's wandering into scary.
Do you remember when CNN their broadcast slogan was "No bull, no bias"?
Yeah.
Bullshit, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, dude, the world was ending with Reagan. The world was ending with Daddy Bush. The world was ending with Billy Jeff. The world was ending with W. The world was ending with Obama. The world was ending with Trump. The world was ending with fucking Biden.
If you believe the headlines today, and I mean it today, the world actually is ending here in December. There's a big-ass meteor coming our way.
Good. But, dude, I don't understand why we don't fucking call these people out. I don't understand. I don't get it. We know the media shills for their buddies, for their preferred political party, for the ideology they agree with, and we know they shit on and bury everything they don't agree with and everything they don't like.
Well,
that's not news.
If you're called them out, Rich, then you would be a Trump supporter. Fake news. Oh, great. Okay, you MAGA hat wearing bastard.
You know what? I think first of all, I hope. Okay, I hope, and it's hard for me to hope. It's really hard for me to hope. But I hope that most of this country who've had a gut full of this bullshit of anytime someone says something that you don't like, they're a Nazi or they're a commie or they're white supremacist or they're Antifa and all this shit. And it's just
terrorists.
People are just over it. The Kyle Rittenhouse There's so many people that when he was found not guilty that came out and were like, fuck him, he's an idiot, but he wasn't guilty of murder. That was clear-cut case of self-defense. He's an idiot for putting himself in that position. And we talked about it last week, Earl. And Chris, I kind of wish you were there, because here's what I took from that. There's two things. Reality was being dealt with by a group of people who, one, usually keep their mouth shut and don't want to get involved. And two, we're being gaslit. We used to say, gaslit. A polite way of saying, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining, by the way. We're being gaslit to believe that, anyone who fucking feels that, he's not guilty is a racist. And it's like, no. And there's a lot more fucking people who are like, that was a clear-cut case of fucking self-defense. End of story.
Dude, the damning photo was the one with him on the ground. It's like, there you go. Like that. Ding, ding, ding. Self-defense. He was surrounded and on the ground.
If anybody's wondering, he didn't fire the first shot.
Well, but once again, all right, we could sit here for another 6 hours and go over the facts of the case, and then these people will care. If they hate Kyle Rittenhouse, he's a racist. What he did was racist. It does not matter any of the facts. Remember when the shit started, when the story first broke, and all you heard me say, he crossed state lines. He crossed state lines. He crossed for fucking months. There are 20-minute compilation videos on YouTube of news sources talking about he crossed state lines.
President Biden called him a white supremacist.
Sure did.
Okay. That's not what I'm talking about. Stop changing the subject when I'm talking. Crossing state lines isn't a crime. Why is that a talking point? Why?
They were talking about crossing it with a weapon.
He didn't do that.
They didn't figure out. The investigative reporting didn't investigate.
But yet they have opinions. And they were sitting there, he crossed state lines. Even if he had the rifle and he crossed state lines with it, that's not illegal. So why are you harping on this? This was a fact that had nothing to do legally with the situation. Just like saying he's a white supremacist for killing 3 white people has no basis in reality. None whatsoever. But these are what was beaten to the fucking, to the people watching this shit's head. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that's not once again, crossing state lines, weapon or no weapon, not a crime. It's not that hard. You don't have to dig that deep, and you just go, dude, how the fuck am I supposed to take any of this seriously? I mean, seriously, I don't care. Fox News, CNN, OAR, whatever the fuck the OAN or whatever the fuck. Yeah, that's some adult contemporary band.
We'll drag them into this. They just want to rock softly.
Whatever. Like all this shit, I'm just like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the best news sources I found on that story were the off the beaten path ones, where they were just like, we don't care about your opinion. We don't care about your feelings. We're just going to report the facts. Here are the facts. Well, he shouldn't have been there. You feel that way. That has nothing to do, and that doesn't get you anywhere in a court of law. Your feelings don't mean shit in a court of law. And a lot of people in this country just found out that that's the truth, and it's the first time they ever found out in their life that that's the truth. And what do? The system failed. No, it didn't. The system worked exactly how it was supposed to fucking work.
Yeah. And then a week later, was it broken? Because it did what it was supposed to do with Ahmaud Arbery. Those 3 dudes essentially hunted that guy down.
Yeah. And I just gave you guys my favorite Rittenhouse meme.
Cool. That works on an audio medium.
It says that Kyle Rittenhouse went to protect businesses owned by these guys, and they're either Arab or partly black or some sort.
They're POCs.
And it says, shoots these guys, and it's 3 white guys. It says, worst white supremacist ever.
I do remember looking at that meme going, yeah, I actually agree with that meme.
Like I said, they being the government, best oil machine on the planet, and it does not surprise me at all what they pull out.
Well,
their favorite band is Imagine Dragons. Their favorite song is Whatever It Takes. That's them.
Oh God, was that a rejected Jimmy Kimmel joke? That is horrible.
I have no idea what's going on.
Next time I have an idea, I'll just let it go.
That was bad, dude. Once again, what is the average person to do? Maybe the answer is, you know what? Instead of this fucking, oh, we're all just going to stay home and just not go to work for a week and whatever, or we're going to fucking have a revolution and roll out the guillotines. You know what? Maybe just not giving a fuck. Maybe that's the best solution.
Worked for me for 8 years.
I don't know, dude. I have no fucking idea at this point. Because we can't keep... Do you understand that the pot stirring that's going on and the boiling points that we're fucking playing around with are just... There's no fucking good that's going to come of this shit? None whatsoever?
Nope.
We had a whole summer of mostly peaceful rioting. What's changed? What's changed, guys? Nothing.
Mostly peaceful protest.
Okay, the insurrection on January 6th. You know what's changed the most in D.C.? They've completely militarized the police department out there. Everybody in the media who works in D.C., who can talk off the record or works for an independent news agency or only answers to themselves, they're a freelancer, has all said the same thing. You go into D.C., you feel a military presence there. It was never there before January 6th. That's not going anywhere. After 9/11, all the barriers in front of all the fucking big buildings in Detroit they put up, it's 20 years later, they ain't gone. They're not going anywhere. September 10th, 2001, you could park in front of the fucking Renaissance Center. September 12th, 2001, you couldn't, and you haven't been able to for 20 fucking years. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, we're still doing security theater at the airport.
20 years later.
Yeah, you got to do the hokey pokey to go fly.
Take your shoes off. Let TSA grab your dick and look at your dick, look at your titties and look at your pussy. And if you don't, then you hate America. Okay.
Hey,
terrorists.
I never took my belt off unless I was told. That was my little fuck you to the man. I wore my belt so many times.
I love how you say that one fucking word, man, and all arguments end there. Even your homophobic and masculinity and all that shit. You say terrorist, game fucking over.
Well, yeah, because we've expanded our terrorist menu. Terrorists used to mean Middle Eastern people, and everyone got offended because you can't say that. And it's like, okay, first of all, and that was an oversimplification on the people who were like, you can't say Middle Eastern people are terrorists. Some of them are. But there's some Irish people that are terrorists. There's some British people that are terrorists. There's some American people that are terrorists. There's terrorists pretty much all over the place. It's just they're not as fucking prevalent as you'd like to fucking think.
Hey, if all white people are racist and white supremacists, then I can say Middle Eastern people are terrorists.
No. They're born that way. White people are born racist. They can't help it. It's like being born gay. You didn't ask to be born that way. But, you know, if someone wants to butt fuck another guy or scissor another bitch, that's fine. But, you know, if you're born racist, you gotta apparently you can't. We all came out the vagina saying, you know, hey, we hate POCs. Yeah.
Well, my first word was the N-word. So, I mean,
what, naggers?
Right.
Nigeria?
All right, well, let's wrap this up.
Clocking in at 3.5. It's probably time to go. So this is the part where I tell you to hit us up on the social medias at GenExhaustedPod. You spell out the word exhausted, please and thank you. Head to ChristopherMedia.net. Click on the Amazon banner, the PayPal button if you'd like to help us out. We got another subscriber. They're giving like $1.50 a month, but whatever. Like that's awesome that someone is. It doesn't. Some people would find that insulting. No, man. I'd say what we do is probably worth $1.50 a month. But
okay, but here's what I want to know: is it from the Quantico, Virginia area, and is it our FBI agent making sure he's
right?
Like, this is job security. That's what I write it off at the end of the year.
Right. I didn't check that, but it's Dawn. You got company. We got another subscriber. But yet, if it's that simple. If you'd like to help us out, and another way to help us out is wherever you listen to us, rate us and review us. That is really now how you help people find us. Now it's like a given wherever. The way technology is now, if you're on, pretty much if you have an RSS feed and you're on iTunes, you eventually get to Spotify. You get to everywhere else. We're everywhere you can listen to a podcast. Rate us, review us. That's how you help people find us now. Please and thank you. I mean, I recently bought a couple things off of Amazon. How did I figure out what to buy? I looked at the review, and people do that with podcasts. So reviews help, please and thank you. And other than that, we'll catch you next week.
All right. Later, guys.
Peace out, yeah.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.